Futures back to the upside here this morning as we get a little reprieve, possibly, as far as the China-U.S. tensions are concerned. Trump backing off a little bit. We'll touch on that coming up here this morning. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, there's Tesla. Elon Musk saying he's going to get his ass back to work, I guess, and stop paying so much attention to what's happening with Donald Trump and the government after, positive earnings, I guess. Kind of better than expected, not as worse as expected, I guess is a better way to put it. But yeah, 7+% here for Tesla to get things going here this morning. Good to see. More earnings to come coming up on Thursday. Next stop, Google and Intel on deck here with the spotlights just around the corner here. So more to come. Market liking the action so far this morning. I mean, there are a few downside. Enphase, pretty ugly here, off a definite miss for ENPH. So if we do get a reversal, we'll keep an eye on that this morning. Not a lot of volume behind that, though.
No, and we left here at the market recap show. The market was okay. Tesla wasn't selling off. Then I go home, and the market's up 500 points. What's going on, Brendo? Oh, that's right. Donald Trump made comments. Yes, looks like he's backing off some of the statements he made earlier with respect to removing Jerome Powell. Basically saying that it's a good time to cut, kind of walking that back. Widely speculated that Scott Bessent and some of the other finance guys in his administration helped him walk that back. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. Bitcoin well above 90,000, so we'll keep an eye out on that. Good look there. The EU looking for more money. So they're reaching out to Meta and Apple to pay the bill there. Big fines. We'll get more into that. Boeing reports earnings as well, Brendo. Not a bad look there. Looks like they're really turning things around.
A little better than expected. You're still holding out hope on this whole Bitcoin thing, right?
Yeah. I'm not giving up hope for my birthday, but in the future, I'm still hopeful.
Let's be honest. Tesla earnings were terrible, but he did say all the right things, I think, as far as the call goes. So that's part of the positivity, I think, for Tesla here this morning. We kind of hinted at that simple fact yesterday on what we were going to hear from him on the call, whether it was going to be more focused on the robotic side, whether it was going to be fine, I'll go back to work and stop playing government for the time being.
He's cutting that down to once a week, Brendo, at most, which is good. Also, we got more information on the robotaxi. June, very excited about that. More on the Model Q or the Model 2. So I think a nice day for Tesla.
Yeah, June rollout for Austin. If you're down in Austin, you'll be able to jump in a Cybercab coming up here in just over a month. Ford, we mentioned yesterday as well. What was this going to mean for some of the other automakers? Ford nicely higher here so far this morning. GM to the upside, 2.5% as well. So right across the board, nice strength to start things off, guys. Good morning.
And strength across the board is not entirely true. Tesla was, like it or not, Tesla was pretty flat after those earnings. Most of the gain came after Trump said he never had any intention of firing Powell. So when you look at, and this is just my quote board, when you look at all these percentages up, it's an everything rally. Hood, Affirm, Tesla, SoFi, DJT, Palantir, NVIDIA. It's just everything is gapping higher. Unless you're Enphase, unless you're the VIX, you're probably doing just fine. Probably some of the other, the other members of TAN are also doing poorly. I would wager is going to be true. So, if it's built on, if the rally is built on the sentiments from Trump, any other headline, which things are looking better, China's willing to negotiate. Just remember, we're still in a headline-driven market. One thing can get said that turns us right around here. But you have to like where we're at here. You won't hear me say how great the quarter was. And the June thing for Tesla, the robotaxi, hey, that's what you were supposed to be. So it didn't get pushed back, which is good. I think that's definitely a good sign. I think less or more focus for Elon Musk on Tesla. I think that that's unquestionably a good thing. I couldn't see it as a bad thing, but just remember, most of this rally is because of what Trump said, and that's in almost all stocks. And that Oklo reversal too, that's a wild one. Sam Altman stepping away from the board of Oklo, and that was down, a ton. I forget what was the max percentage it was down? It must have been 20-something%. But it's green and breaking out, so go figure.
Yeah, look, yesterday we had hinted that the problem and the danger was to the shorts of Tesla, and when everybody else is looking lower, the best place is to look higher. And, we talked about that before the number was even released. We talked about it all afternoon. That Tesla yesterday, I don't know, even I thought I was a little bit crazy when I was saying 260, but we're getting close to 260 right there. Nice move upside, up 7% right there. Thought it was going to be this kind of a print. That's why we talk like that. So am I surprised? No, I am not. What I'm not surprised about also is that talk that we had yesterday about gold. I would thought that it got a little overheated. We talked about this gold probably coming back in again. There goes gold down another 1.57%. So, yeah, I mean, this is all making sense to me. Donald Trump bends the knee a little bit there. And, this whole thing was sort of created by him with the talk. And, of course, he can, unwind all of this movement very, very quickly, and it looks like that's what's been happening. And I was just like, I can't believe that the S&P was at 480, 485, and now today you're at 540. So you're already 10% from the bottoms back to the upside there. So what a nice move back. Glad to see it here. I think there'll be a lot of traders going in to buy everything today. So that means I'm waiting for pullbacks. So, it's the total opposite. People coming in thinking they missed the rally. I think we can pull back a little bit here on the SPY and the NASDAQ today. So, yeah, look, super excited, man. I mean, Palantir was a $60 name. The king always rises, and now it's over $100 today. We'll look at that kind of a tick down there, like 67, I think 65. I mean, we're going to be able to find names that are low with huge returns, but there goes Palantir again. Was already up 14 or 15% on the year. Add another 6-7% to that right now. This name continues to work and work pretty good. So, yeah, man, we are we're really excited. We got a great win last night in the Maple Leaf game.
Oh, yeah.
Glad it didn't take too long there into overtime. That was real good, and 2-0. Things are looking fantastic.
Easily the only good. I mean, it was a great goal, and all the other goals were kind of they were all like off skates, off of one was off. Yeah, it was. They were all ugly goals, and it was an absolute beaut at the end. Like that's a great way to finish it.
Max Domi.
Things are looking good for the Leafs and for Max. They're up 2-0. Anything can happen. The Lakers got back. I kind of thought they were going to lose last night, but. The Lakers are able to pull it out.
Yeah. They were up a lot by the time
the king handled his business. But that said, we got a lot. There's a lot to cover today. The NASDAQ just actually retesting the highs, up 3% as we speak. The ES retesting the highs, up 2.5%, about to break through. So there's a lot of exuberance in this market. We got a bunch of Fed speak today as well. We have a 5-year bond auction. You've got more economic data due out. So it's a very, very busy day, in addition to, obviously, the reaction to Tesla earnings here. So, yeah, a lot to cover, but you got to be all smiles when the market's this strong.
Hey, there's Andre. Hey. We were just talking about Morgan Stanley here. Must have been a dark print or something that came through here for MS. Just popped up on a scanner, but yeah, that's not right. It's saying it's down 8.5%, but it's definitely not down 8.5% for MS. So we'll come back to that. Google, meanwhile, just got an alert there for Google as well. Back to day highs, or almost back to day highs. 155.50 coming up. There was this note that was kind of interesting this morning on Google ahead of, remember, coming up in tomorrow after the close. We'll get Alphabet earnings. Analysts across the board pretty positive ahead of, we'll see. It's been a rough quarter macro-wise. Advertising spend might be down. Obviously, there's the search angle with ChatGPT and all the other LLMs coming into play now, so let's see what Sundar has to say.
You and I have talked about this umpteen amount of times. We've changed the methodology by which we search the internet. Yeah. We go more through LLMs rather than search. But one thing has me a little concerned, and we got this little tidbit about Meta and their digital advertising, but I think it's equally applicable to Google. So the Chinese obviously don't use Google, they don't use Meta, at least directly anyway, maybe through VPNs, but they do advertise on those platforms looking to obviously target American buyers. And we've been hearing with the new trade war sort of taking place that Meta's Chinese or the money coming in from Chinese advertisers to advertise to American consumers is going to be less. Yeah. And I think that story could be equally applicable to Google. I think that they're both in the same space, so I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, we'll see what the forecast looks like from them coming up tomorrow. There's also the hardware angle as well. I was reading an interesting story on the it's that time of year where you're getting the lower end model of smartphones ahead of the newer releases that come out beginning of next year. So apparently the 9A, Pixel 9A is not great.
No?
And everyone, or the reviews that I've read anyways, have suggested people should just wait for the new one to come out in a couple of months and skip the 9A. So anyway, 2.5% here. Nice move with the market, guys, after the close yesterday.
Yeah, everything rallied. I was just seeing, just a weird thing. NVIDIA's barcoding right now, and AMD just made a strong press through the high. Not sure what's up with that, but it's one of those, little oddities. And sometimes you'll see in the pre-market, you're looking at the market break those highs and like what's going and what's not. And sorry, let me just, I'll show you guys what I mean by NVIDIA. Like that's NVIDIA when the market just pushed into the highs. And I can quickly flip over and also show you AMD, just visually to lend to what's going on here. Like AMD breaking out. So I mean, AMD over 90.5 already looks pretty good, but I guess it's the stronger of the chip names today. Alphabet is going to be like a lot of other things. It's a pick your poison type of market. Some are in the middle of a range, and that's the thing with Google here. You're right sitting smack dab in the middle of this month's range. Well, just the last month, let's just say, because you got to go all the way back into April. That's diddling big time in the middle. You haven't even, this one you haven't broken trend yet on Alphabet. You're going to see the headlines from Meta and Apple EU coming at them, and they both got fines. This is tit for tat. The analogy that I used, and we were talking about it this morning, with regards to if you're big cap tech, and you don't have the big governments coming at you for money, whether it's fines, whether it's taxation, then that's akin to you like working the block and the cops not coming for tribute. You know what I mean? Like if Frank Lucas, back in American Gangster, if he doesn't have someone coming for his tribute, then it means he's not the king. So it's ultimately like it's a good sign for these big cap tech names that they're constantly in the crosshairs. It just means that they're making a lot of money and generating a lot of cash, and people want to be able to extract that cash. But Google's still a little bit, for the trade, it's a little bit too inside to want to mess with this. There's plenty of names that are breaking out or at more interesting levels for myself, but I wouldn't be sweating most of this antitrust stuff. Our bigger concerns are going to be tariffs. Tariffs. When is negotiation going to turn into deals? And that's the next leg to get you back to the highs. Like if this is a kind of rally, just because Powell's not going anywhere, it doesn't really mean anything. It's good, but the next step is deal making, and then you're back at the highs.
Yeah, remember, we're already, as I was saying, we're already 10% up. You had another 2.5 today. So the rally kind of was starting and now getting fueled here by the fact that Powell will have his job for today. Look, I still want to. I want to get out of Google, to be honest with you. I don't like. I mean, I'm way more on the side of Sharif and talking about how we've changed the way we search and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we know they're making a lot of money, but I think their game has changed forever. And obviously, they're going to figure it out. They shouldn't be a 16 PE or whatever they are, but I'm pretty much, if we can get back to 172, 173, 170, like in this area where the 200 period is, I'm going to be getting significantly lighter on Google. I'm not sure it can perform as well as even the NASDAQ can over the next 5 years. I don't love it as much as I did. So I don't know. I feel like there's better names to get into than Google these days. So I want to fade the pops, but not yet. I mean, we're only up 2.6%. You could get going a lot. It's just there's, as I see some of these other newer technologies and some of these other names start to go, it's like, I know I can get more alpha and more return on so many other names right now that I think are actually half decent. CoreWeave might not be one of them, but that's up 9% there today. Even just a name like a JP Morgan that, I thought we made a mistake, I guess, buying at 231, and we did. It went down to 200, now boom. And I mean, we're just talking also about Tesla there today, and it's like when the stories are so bad, they can get good again. And I'm not sure if Tesla's story really changed that much, but there it is, up 7%. So there's a lot of froth for sure coming in today. into this market. We're gonna have to see what XLE and what oil and all that, but we've already seen that move down in gold, which we sort of, so I feel pretty good. I mean, yesterday we talked about the Tesla long, and I actually even used XLE's not doing anything. Well, up 1%, actually pretty good. Yesterday I said to everybody, you know, if you had 10%, if you're not into Tesla, I think yesterday at open at 231, you drop some money into there, and that would have worked based on, I guess, this bump up there today. And whether or not you want to sell it up 8%, that's going to be your choice. I think there's more room to go. I think we can get to 260. I think we can get higher than all of this. So, look, I'm not convinced that this rally will last here today. I do think we should be able to pull back a little bit. I'm not sure if Tesla gets to 246 and change, but I'm pretty excited for the market, as you can tell by my voice. And Bitcoin at 94,000. I mean, that's real nice. I don't know if you guys saw some of these other plays that were happening around in cryptoverse here, but you know, I was talking yesterday, Cardano 60 cents. You know, right now you're up to 66 cents, 65 cents. I got to refresh this. I think it might actually be higher. Yeah, there it is. It was 70 cents when I left today. So there it is, 71 cents there for Cardano. Dogecoin was 17 cents, now 18 and a half. Solana was 145, now 152. You know, Ripple, we talked about XRP when it was at $2. And at $2, I was like, get some cash into that at $2. Now it's at $2.28. So that's your 14% right there in 2 days on XRP. I hope some of you guys were taking some of that advice. And then even Ethereum, I mean, up 11%. So, you know, they're all starting to go now. And it's not a surprise that some of these, you know, altcoins and different investments here are up nicely, 20%, 20%, 17%, 21%, 15%, you know, and all that really matters is right here, 11.5%. So congrats, man, to everybody out there that's, you know, taken some of those. And, you know, it's been a definite good ride. I'm long XRP there at $2, and I haven't sold any of my Tesla. So it's been okay. You know, obviously I wish I would have sold everything a couple months ago, but now it's nice to have that rebound. I'm excited about noon to look at the account, see how much we're down now, but it will be a little bit less than it was yesterday, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's all you can do. I mean, I tend not to get the ebbs and flows of like the long term. I don't tend to freak out too much about it up or down. But the good news with crypto was, as you're mentioning it here, one, well, XRP is trying to break a nice little channel. It kind of faked it out the last time it tried to break this channel. And let's see if it can actually do so in earnest, like close a couple of days above. It'll be about 2 to 215. But Bitcoin, well, we did this once before when we bounced off the 70s. And that was get out and about above that 92, right into like 95 was the top. And that actually led us to retest the lows. So that you got a big test today. Can you hold above that prior support or resistance? It's both at 91.5 on BTC. That's where I'm looking today. Well, I'll be looking at IBIT specifically, but it's that prior high. Can we hold and buy the dips? It's 49.65. I almost said 85. 49.65 on IBIT. I'm looking to hold. If we can't do that, then we could easily, you know, just have one of those false rallies there on Bitcoin. Same range we've been in. Let's go over to Adara. We already heard it's going to be a bunch of upgrades, so let's see whom.
That doesn't mean all is positive or bright. There are some downgrades as well, but all but one of these names is up on the day. We're going to start here with American Express. They reported earnings last Thursday. Today, getting an upgrade from Redburn Atlantic. Exane, BNB Paribas upgrading Mobileye, MBLY on watch. Then we have SAP. This is or SAP, an earnings name from earlier this week, up 8% with an upgrade from BMO Capital Markets. Boot Barn with a Craig Hallam upgrade this morning. Now, on the downgrade side of things, Barclays starting things off with an energy play. Chevron up about 2% by getting a downgrade. Then we have Wynn Resorts with a downgrade from Argus. Amazon getting a price target cut from Telsey Advisory Group. You can read all about that in our Trader TV watch list. And last but not least, the one downgrade name that's sharply red on the day, it's going to be Enphase. Their earnings report was not well received by the market, and they get a downgrade from TD Cowen this morning, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, Amazon's the one that will stand. Price target cut. I mean, Tesla got a bunch of price target cuts too, as well after their earnings. Doesn't necessarily mean the end of the world. Enphase shouldn't really surprise anybody. It's been weak. we don't have rate cuts yet either for this group, which they badly need, and I'm talking about the solar name. So that's the shoe that has to drop for them. I mean, forget about, like, I get it. Well, they're probably affected by tariffs too because supply, but a big deal if they can get some cuts in. I think this is one name, instead of looking for, I want to buy some dips in IBIT. We'll talk about some other names out there, but this is one where short the pops, but have some patience with it. I think is going to make a little bit of sense. There's some levels out there for this bad boy. You know, I'm looking at the 49.5 to 50 range out in here. It's already busted through the prior low, so there's a bit of relief rally happening. It won't be short sell restricted if it were to open here because it's not 10% down. But this is the kind of, hey, it's bad, and the chart's bad, and we haven't got a rate cut. If there's any talk or increase in odds in a rate cut, these stocks could fly. But yeah, into the 50 level on Enphase, I think that's one downgrade there where it's not the catalyst, but there's enough negative sentiment that in a strong market, that was one I'd be looking to fade. But it's got to go a little bit higher, and you got to wait for it to open. It's still a big spread, like 30-cent spread right now. Volume's only okay.
Yeah, we had Enphase there yesterday. That was, rough stock. You look at the weekly chart for that. Look, part of my look here to get rid of Google would be to go into a name like an Amazon. I mean, that got downgraded and is up 5%. So, you know, definitely some of the bottoms missed down there, like 180, 165. Crazy how far we've come back to the upside here on AMZN. So, you know, I would take that downgrade, and obviously people are, you know, not respecting that for any stretch of imagination, but it was just a price target. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening here with Amazon. But again, I like it. My sticky note is now out and everybody giving me a hard time. I didn't realize anybody's even paying attention. So thank you to all of that, because yesterday I got some slack for doing it on the sticky notebook right there. It's because I'm out of sticky notes. But we got the Amazon notification that they will be delivered tomorrow. So hopefully that'll change. But right now, Palantir, NVIDIA, IBIT, and TQQs on there right now. And I appreciate all of the love and the negative comments about, where's the sticky note? I want to wake up to the sticky note, but you'll get it tomorrow. For right now, it's a notebook. Same information, different vehicle. I like Amazon. I think that's going to be a good dip buy opportunity. And as we had said, Neil had said it already, pick your poison type of thing. I mean, I just think that Amazon is going to be another one of those names that if we're able to get some dip buys, and we will do that. Yeah, make sticky note great again. We will do that, Ozan. And here you go, Ozan. Yeah, so any dip buy opportunities, 180 would be great. I mean, I think these can all come in, right? If you're going to look at the imbalance locator, we've seen this many times before here live on the show, and it's primarily bids, right? Today, I mean, I've already called gold. I mean, I wanted to take that bet yesterday, but I didn't see anybody in the chat that wanted it, but right there, down, gold, to the downside right there today, and everything else seems to be bids. So Alibaba, Nike, AMC, like Big Bear, Pfizer, everything, NIO, they're all here. Oracle, they're small, but they're all bids. So generally speaking, that will, I feel like, create a little bit of a downside pressure, believe it or not, right off the open. So we'll see what happens when the NASDAQ imbalances come through. I mean, if you want to get long, you might even want to get long soon, because when those NASDAQ imbalances come, if they match the rest of the market, then it's bid side ahoy. I'm going to fix this little wick here and throw it back over to the desk.
Things of note here. Snapchat just popping up in front of me. Back to 8:15. There is a lawsuit, not a huge deal, but lawsuit from Florida alleging addictive app features on purpose for Snapchat. Say it ain't so. So 3.5% here, but it just came down a little bit on that. So heads up on that. Robinhood, pretty good start here this morning. Some volume coming through there as well for Hood. 7% here. Wow. I don't see anything on Robinhood right now, but nice pop here with the market.
Yeah, interesting from KeyBank here, Brendo. Despite the fact that they're up, KeyBank's a little upset with Robinhood today, cutting the price target down from 75 to 55. Doesn't really matter, though, because it's up and quite nicely. And we talked about this on the midday show. Robinhood really kind of looking to be that Goldman Sachs, that Morgan Stanley, that JPM for Gen Z, really trying to kind of elicit their money in, giving them, you know, sort of banking features that you only really see when you have high net worth clients. So it's not a bad look here at all, Brendo. A nice recovery from that a little bit of a sell-off.
Yeah, a few others from the top of the list here. Xpeng up huge, 8% right now. I better part of 8%, 7.92. If you missed it again or just joining a little bit late here, Trump softening his language around the China expectations and the timeline for said expectations. So everything across the board China related. To the upside in a pretty big way, 3.5 for Alibaba here, as Donald Trump guy still waiting for a phone call from President Xi.
Yeah. Look, Color Me is one that thought we'd get another chance at Alibaba a little bit lower. Like all the U.S. stocks basically gave you the lows or like underneath the lows, all that kind of good stuff. And so sometimes you get wrapped up on level and not premise, which is the 200 period moving average, because you know what? If I listen to the old, if you like something, buy it back at the 200 period moving average, I would have bought back in Alibaba. But when I was selling, when it broke to 50, we'll be back at the 50 in a day at this rate. That's a 50 period moving average on SMA. Like that's a $5, call it $6-7 away here on BABA. I think that's where the next resistance spot lies, because you've now broken back out. There's a lot of things that you can look dip by hunting here today. It does look, it's a pretty distinct 116, but I'm lying if I said BABA made the list today for me. But usually I'd be thinking you have a distinct top like that, 116, 116, 116. You try to fill in that gap. If this goes a couple of points down, you look for the 116 bid. But I'll likely stay away from Alibaba today. Just as of right now, I got IBIT, GDX, Tesla, and we'll be looking at the chips, AMD, and then backup is Intel. So those are the names that I'm looking at. Normally, this would be if you try to fill in the gap, buy at the prior high on Alibaba. But yeah, a little bit stronger than I anticipated there. Bounced so clean off that 200 period moving average. Probably should have rebought it, but I'm still holding on to the 1/3 I got left.
All right. Yeah, we looked at FXI yesterday for China. I mean, I don't know. I think a play for China, really, if you're just going to be, real about it, I think Apple is probably the best one just for big cap anyways. I mean, obviously Alibaba's going to fly around right there. You could see it was a nice move there to the upside for Apple, looking at that 210 area. So now that we're above 200, we'll look to see what happens here at 210. So I think that's the next area. Probably a fade initially at it. We had that gap. I mean, Apple was 170 and everybody was like, shut the door on them. And then all of a sudden, a huge move right back there to the upside, now up 15%. So, I mean, I like Apple down here. It's not on the radar, but they're all the same. Dip by opportunities into VWAP, dip by opportunities into 205. I like Apple. I think there's a good opportunity for this one to go. This would be my China play. If you like it, then I would say take a look over here on Apple as they need to make some comebacks. This was a 270, right, at their highs. And then a huge drop down. It lost $100 right there. Now just trying to get it back. So we'll see. Apple, obviously, their products seem to be still around. Apple 17 is getting, the iPhone 17 is getting that rebuild and remake sort of. And then Apple iPhone Air, something like that. So there's going to be some things happening there. It's not going to be needle moving or anything like that, but I think Apple continues to work. And yeah, over 200. We said we go short under and long over. So Apple over $200. I like it.
I got to wait till next week for a couple more of these. Apple, one of those, Meta coming up next week as well. I believe they're both Thursday or 30th, whatever day that is. Anyway, welcome to what should be pretty exciting here. We're back to almost highs here for NVIDIA as well. We'll get into what we need to know here heading towards the open. Again, up and away here for the market so far.
53.15, Brenda. We're already up 2 2/3% to start the day over here. 53.15 is where we closed out yesterday on the ES June contract. Well above that level, as you can already tell. The overnight high, 54.56. But here's the deal. Have a look at this area that we rejected multiple times. Back on the 9th, again on the 14th and the 15th. We kept rejecting 5,500. So if we clear that overnight high at 54.56, we're definitely looking at 5,500 as resistance. Will look to 5,400 as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to that page. All you need is your email address then. And then you get the watch list for absolutely nothing. It's free. We do all your homework for you, send that to you in a nice, neat package, has everything on it you need to know every single day, as expected. This one, top of the list here this morning, Tesla up and away as well. Day highs right now, almost 8% here before we even get to the open. Randy's just rolling through here. He's probably upset about this.
Yeah, I don't think he likes Tesla very much.
Apparently.
He likes it when it goes down. But let's talk about how they did, Brendo. Earnings per share, miss. The street wanted 39 pennies. They printed 27. Revenue, miss. The street wanted 21.11. They printed 19.34. Automotive revenue, 20% year-over-year drop. They printed $14 billion. Their net income as well, Brendo, dropped 71% year-over-year, down to $409 million. We'll get to that in a second because most of that profit comes from the environmental credits that they sell. Operating income also down 66% year-over-year, down to $400 million. Some of the key factors behind the miss: lower average selling price and increased sales incentives, the factory downtime that they had to do for the retooling for the refreshed Model Y. There's also heavy amounts of AI investment and declining vehicle deliveries, which certainly weighed on margins. And here's the deal. Tesla would have reported a net loss in auto sales without that $595 million environmental credit revenue that they print. Now, Q1 deliveries, their actual cars that they delivered, fell 13% year over year to about 336,700. They're also struggling with their lower cost EV competition in China, and they're certainly facing some backlash there in Europe. We already know about that. Last but not least here, they did not affirm their 2025 guidance. They said they will revisit that during the Q2 update, and Musk reiterated plans, however, Brendo, for that robo-taxi launch in Austin in June and the pilot production of Optimus humanoid robot at the Fremont factory later this year.
That'll be really interesting. As we were saying, going back a couple of weeks, Waymo doing really well in Austin right now. So we'll see if Tesla can do that as well. Your colorful jacket friend, Dan Ives, chiming in here saying he's back at 350. I think he was at 315 or something. But he liked the promise to go back to work here from Elon as well for Danny Ives.
Colorful jacket guy.
You know, I got plum stuck in my teeth.
But it's like, it's good.
Damn you, Randy.
I actually already had one of those plums, so I'm going to have a second one when we finish the morning show. Look, Tesla's now up 8%. You're not going to beat the, you're probably not going to beat the expected move. And at the end of the day, like we were saying before, a lot of this had so much to do with what Trump said regarding Powell. Like, that's where you really got some juice. That said, quarter is what it is. You can't pretend that it's looking all that great, but I'd like to focus back on the attention with Tesla. You still have overhead resistance at 280, obviously, and the 260 level looks like a potential breakout. I always like dip back into prior highs. It's a 50 to 51 area for me. I don't know how far I want to stretch that. VWAP is sitting here well above that 50 to 51 area. So like pre-market low and that VWAP will have to hold the opening range in order to be long anything that's not the 250s. I don't want to be chasing it up here with that 260 looming on Tesla. So Tesla beat. Well, it's certainly beating the shorts right now, but the fundamentals weren't that great.
No. And we knew the fundamentals weren't have been great, and that's the whole reason why it's up, is because the number came in pretty much bad as expected, but then there was no no shade really thrown on it by Elon. He talked about leaving Doge soon. And this was the whole thing, right? We called the long yesterday at 230. It's now at 260. It was a good report as far as not being obviously it was lower, but the stock market doesn't care about what's happened. The stock market and all stocks are forward-looking. They're supposed to be, and that's exactly the point. If Elon's coming back, if their models are underway and it looks like they're going to be released here, we talked about June of this year, things are working for Tesla right now, and now you're going to get retail to rip this thing. If you're thinking about going short this name today, you're going to be wrong, in my opinion, unless we get a lot higher than where we are right now. This is going to get, I think, really going, and you can even see even right now, you're starting to go now. So the NASDAQ, the ES, both busting, NASDAQ up 3% right now, ES up 2.5%, and it's going to get led by some of these bigger plays. So I really think Tesla is a great opportunity today to get that long. And whether or not it falls a little bit early, I think you want to look at VWAP down here at 255. You know, if that comes through. Look, we've seen Tesla give back everything. I mean, this thing could drop $10. But, you know, to me, this made sense. We talked about this, starting a position yesterday if you hadn't yet. You know, can never be too confident. I don't ever think that trading ahead of a number is necessarily the right thing. And I've talked about that. But the fact that I mentioned it, we thought there was too much blood here. And I still think the same thing for Google, right? When Google's going to report, I still feel the same way. Like, it's been hit so much that we know the story with Google isn't great. So maybe it does go higher. I mean, Brendan just said Waymo there as well. I mean, that's a Google product. Let's see if Tesla can continue to work. The 200 period's at 248. You know, you always want to see what happens at the pre-market lows. And that right now would be 253 or so, at least in the last hour and a half. So for me, Tesla would be a bid somewhere around those areas. And then if we lose it, then you get out and you watch this thing fall right back down in again. So stocks are tricky to trade off earnings. So we always say when there's a gap, play back to VWAP. And right there it is right there, 255. So here's the gap. There it is. We'll see if we can get some action around 255 for Tesla. But this is a retail army, man, and they're going to come in and support this stock. It's just a matter of where and when, and if this market can hold. You know, every single name is higher. And remember, I've already given it the kiss of death by showing you that most of these things were bids on the imbalance. So that generally will give us a downside push right off the open. So let's wait to see what winds up happening here. But Tesla back to 255 is an area that I'm looking at, but not standing in the way. I don't have any bids, and Tesla was not on here. So I'm going to try to stick to the plan. If we just stuck to the plan yesterday and only traded Palantir, we'd have had like a $6 winner, right? We had 91.50s yesterday on Palantir as it was written. So, and then the Q short didn't get going until 46. So we're going to wait to see what happens with the NASDAQ. Nice little pullback here. And it's probably something to do with China or not.
Maybe, no.
Charts with holes in them this morning as we look at some of these Chinese ADRs so far. If you missed it again, Trump, after the close last night, softening big time his stance on this China narrative. At this point, you and I sat here yesterday saying, how long is he going to wait? At some point, you know, there needs to be some sort of compromise from one side or the other. It appears like it's going to come from the U.S. first.
It looks like so, Brendo, because that's kind of the comments that he gave yesterday. He said, he signaled anyway, that the tariffs on China, which are currently 145%, may be substantially reduced once a deal is reached. Then obviously, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, also came out and called the standoff unsustainable, boosting the hopes for a resolution. Just to give you some idea about how Asian markets reacted to this comment yesterday, the Nikkei was up almost 2%, 1.87. Good look there. The Shanghai Composite was kind of flat, 0.17. The Hang Seng, though, was up substantially, 2.41%. Even India was up on the news. Likewise with Australia, which obviously has a lot of exposure to the Asian market. So not a bad look here, Brendo. It's nice to see finally maybe we're making some progress on the issue.
Just reading some comments here from G, telling UN leaders meeting China's effort to promote international cooperation will not weaken. So there was a move down there I saw in NVIDIA pretty quick. I just messed up this chart. There we go. NVIDIA coming in there pretty hard. So I was just looking for any kind of comments or stuff, but just be aware. Volatility to deal with here, even these ADRs coming back down a bit. But yeah, 7% here. It was 8 for XPeng.
Yeah, look, man, and AMD didn't even budge. So that little AMD rallying and NVIDIA not doing anything with the market is kind of continuing here. There's that NVIDIA move to the downside. That's AMD holding out some of those tops. So yeah, for now, it seems as if AMD is a strong one if you're looking at those tech names. And we're going to talk tech in just a quick little second. We already went over Alibaba, but I looked over at NIO. Hey, maybe it could, I don't know if we'll be strong enough to fade it at the 50 period at 420, but that was a brick wall on the way down for Boeing, 4 to 420. I would suspect you get in there today, this week, without any headline, without any positive, like firm news on deals, then I think you want to look short at the prior support level on NIO. That's about the only thing I would add. We already talked about, we already made some comments there about Alibaba. If I wasn't locked in on a couple of other names, then Alibaba, I'd be looking at about 115.5 to 116 to fill in that gap. Yeah, but NIO, 420. I mean, resistance turning into support turning into resistance always makes sense to me.
All right, here we go. I got you guys there in the chat, so let's go. People are going to riot if we don't talk about Palantir, apparently. So right there, I have it as my number one trade idea here, 96. Let's see if we can get going. I think there could be some profit taking here. We could gap a little bit lower. But Palantir, the number one name, it was my number one stock there yesterday from the sticky note ideas. And, you know, it's up to 5% again today. It's over the 50-period moving average. It's looking like it wants to, it has broken out officially there today, breaking through that 98.50 high, getting up to and close to that $100 marker. I like Palantir down here. I said just give it back to yesterday. Like I said, I'm pretty bearish off the immediate open. And I don't mean bearish, it's just I think there's some pullback. And I'd said there's going to be some pullback a couple 10, 15 minutes ago based on when we showed those imbalances. But again, 925 is going to hit, and then you're probably going to get some bid imbalances, which will create a temporary bump up. Then I think we fade back. Now the 200 period's at 97.50. The reason why we picked 96 was just I felt like that was a safe level. So if you just go back here, 96 was the top there on Monday. 96 was the top there yesterday. So if we were to pull back, I'm bidding 96.50 as far as I know right now. Yeah, 96.50 flat. So we're bidding right here. So we're bidding, it's going to have to fall, right? I mean, you're going to need a move back down a couple percentage points to get that. So we're just going to sit there and wait to see if that happens. But I get a feeling like this 97.50 area probably going to be a play, you know, but we've seen this name just absolutely just fall yesterday it opened up at 93. We got here's 91.50, what we got yesterday. You know, we didn't even think we'd get it. And when I got it, I panicked and got out like too many shares here for $1.50 before, as I showed you, it ran $5. So if we don't get the 96 exactly, it's not going to matter that much. Let's let it fall down, see if we can find a base, right? Like yesterday, you didn't have to get 91.50. You could have waited and got 92, something in and around that area. But at the end of the trading, first 10 minutes, I think Palantir is going to give us a great idea of what it wants to do, man. All hail. We talk about the king, but this really, so far this year, Palantir has been the one, because if you go back here to January, this is January right here, January 1st, $76. So it's only spent 0 days. I mean, it closed there underneath January's level. It hadn't closed any other, and that was the bad day. It hasn't closed any other day below where it was on Jan 1. So, you know, this name just continues to work. It's obviously the PE is through the roof, but, you know, military spending and the future, we're here, Palantir.
Tech leading the way here in a big, big way so far this morning. Here's Apple. Speaking of China, Apple back to the upside here, 3.5%. Coming back in right now, 3.38. This was yesterday. Speaking of Google coming up after the close tomorrow, Sam Altman saying OpenAI all about that Chrome if they get an opportunity to snatch that out of Google's palms. If they're forced to sell, obviously Google's not going to just hand it over. But
no.
That was kind of interesting yesterday. So, I mean, there's all kinds of angles here for tech today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of it had to do with the comments that we got from Donald Trump yesterday in the afternoon, after the bell, obviously, and after the market recap show. So Donald Trump said Tuesday he had no intention of firing Fed Chair Jerome Powell before his term ends, which ends May 2026, so in a year from now. He said none whatsoever, never did, which is a sharp contrast, obviously, from where he called Jerome Powell a major loser and threatened swift removal. This follows increased speculation over the past week as Trump and his advisors reportedly explored legal options for firing Jerome Powell. He downplayed the prior remarks. He said the press runs away with things. He reiterated their policy preference. He's like, I would like to see a little bit more, to see him a little bit more active. This is a perfect time to lower rates. And this all comes, Brendo, after the swearing in of Paul Atkins, the SEC chair, which obviously signals broader economic pivot with a pro-market leadership.
Powell has never been one to be influenced, to his credit. So looks like his job is safe for the time being. I was just hearing a couple things about Tesla there, just some more analyst opinions coming through, but not really doing anything, but just be aware.
Shout out to Ross in Thailand there. PMI comes out at 945, just waiting to jump into anything seemed like a smart idea. What would negative PMI number mean to the markets? Well, I feel as if we've been in this little realm where we haven't cared too much about the economic data unless it's a bond auction. So yeah, we always pay attention to economic numbers for that little spike that we'll see in volume, although the last couple, I was actually underwhelmed last time. I thought there was one I thought we'd get a dip buy and we didn't because it just didn't even move. So we'll always pay attention. Maybe you want to be loosening up stops so you don't get wicked out, little things like that. But I'm not holding, I don't think it's as big a deal as it used to be. It's just what is Trump saying and when are deals getting made and what's happening with the bond market. That's generally where we're going with this. On IBIT here, if I'm looking at tech, it's been a long regardless of what we've been seeing. It was long when the market was weak. Recently, it's breaking out. You've broken and held a 50-period moving average, all that good stuff. We're back above that 91.5 level. We just touched the high again on IBIT. My initial look was actually 52.65, and at this point, we're breaking pretty far away from it. There might be an amount of patience required for this to either give me a test of the pre-market support at 53.10 or allow it to try to come back in here to 52.65. Like that was the top tech thing I was looking at. For the last couple of days, Bitcoin's just been strong. And you'll often hear me say, like, I'll throw out a price on Bitcoin that I'm looking at, like 91.5, and that's the general area of that support at 52.65. It gets down there, I want to be a buyer, but I don't necessarily want to have to wait out the entire opening range to see it gap down. But yeah, my look is going to be IBIT today. And what AMD, I mentioned AMD. AMD, that 90 level from yesterday, which we're like, oh, if we rally, we get to that 90 as a resistance level. Well, it's above that now, so the long's over that 90 for me. If it's losing the $90 level, I'm not as big of a fan of it. That's just this prior high going back into last week. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for tech.
All right. If you want to know what I'm looking at, you have the sticky note, but I have IBIT written here at 52.50. So if we can come in to IBIT to 52.50, I don't know if that's going to happen. I just checked. I was actually just checking my crypto account, and it was nice to see that today as well because you guys know we got Cardano and we have newly acquired. Well, I mean, it's stupid because I had Ripple way lower and sold it and had to buy it back. All right, so TQQs. All right, so $49. Look, this is again the vehicle that I choose to trade. It's been, probably one of the most heavily traded, names on the show. The TQQ every day seem to be in this one. So we want to be in it again just because of what we've been doing. There's $46 right there. Again, like you could come back in a little bit here off the open. So I had written down anywhere between 46.50 and 47. So we had come back in. 47 is not that far away from this, where we are right now. We had just touched 48.50. So I feel like if we get a pullback into here, obviously the 200 period continues to climb a little bit higher right there into this area. So if we get a drop down for the NASDAQ and the TQQs, I want to be all over that. So that would be something. This is the 50 period moving average right now. You can see there's 46 and change, a high from Thursday. And we were playing off some of those levels the other day, and it was working out fine. So if we can get 46.50. But the key with the triple Qs, as those of you that watch the way I trade this, like we had I can't remember what we had yesterday. I think we had the short right there. Yeah, we did have the short. What am I talking about? Yesterday we had written down 45 to 45.50, and I remember we had shorted it all the way up here, and then finally once it got up to 46, so we missed the top by 50 cents because we had written down 45.50. Once that had happened and based out a little bit, then we gave ourselves a top, and then this happened. So we nailed that yesterday for a big trade, So again, I'm going to sit here and wait to see if the NASDAQ does want to come down a little bit. And then, the NVIDIA look is a pretty easy one as well as the AMD look. These names are up huge today. So pullbacks. Same thing I told Brian Shannon yesterday when this thing was under $100 when we had him on. It was like, if we break above 100, I'm going long. I said the same thing for Apple. We said if there was key levels, this is what I'm doing. So guess what? It's what I'm doing. I have a bid right now on NVIDIA at 101.50. So we have 7 minutes now until these imbalances come out. And I feel like if there's sell imbalances, these things will crank to the downside. I don't think I'll get filled on any of that, but hopefully that will help us get into that $100 mark. I mean, that's where we need it to go for me to buy. So I'm going to be waiting for, I'm at 101.50. I could see myself grabbing some 102s. This is what it looks like right so far. Oracle was only 60,000. Now it's 170. So just to talk about the bids getting stronger, especially on the tech side, here's Vertiv. We have that on our note as well. We have Big Bear AI is coming back for everybody today. That's up 5% as well. So, you know, there's Alibaba. Like a lot of these have grown. So I'm thinking at 925 when the NASDAQ imbalances come out, we get another bump from NASDAQ names. So get ready for all of that. A quick little check here on Tesla as we have tons of time today. There goes Tesla, 256, so still trying to hold out. We did see this number at 9% though, right? So it's already come back 1.5%. You know, who knows where this thing's going to wind up. We talked about it coming back into VWAP. We're getting closer and closer to that level right now, which is why I zoom back out, because when there's a gap, play to VWAP, but there's been so much volume right now that VWAP is not really going to hold. It's not even going to play early. So now you're looking at a key level of in and around 250 for Tesla. We said that there was going to be some profit taking there today. I still think as soon as this market opens, probably get a little dump based on whatever those imbalances are, then retail will come in, and I think Tesla gets going higher than that too. I mean, possibly touching that 260, depends on how far we go down, but I like 260 there today, and I like 250. So right now we're in the middle. Let's wait to see what winds up happening with Tesla. I guess Boeing earnings?
Yeah, just be aware there are some comments coming through here. It looks like from the earnings call potentially here for Boeing. So we did get another pop-up above 173, trying to hold those levels right now. But one of those comments, China-related, Boeing making the remarks essentially saying they're going to remarket the Chinese aircrafts or aircrafts that were allotted for the Chinese market, saying they have, quote-unquote, plenty of customers. I think we were talking about the same thing going back to last week when that first came out. So nice look for Boeing.
Yeah, it was never a demand issue, but was it, Brendo? There was always a production issue. But this is a really good report, guys. A marked improvement from what they did last time. Let's talk about it. The net loss. Last time around, they lost $355 million. This time, they narrowed it down to 31. Good look there. The adjusted loss per share. We're still talking about loss per share here, not earnings per share, but a marked decrease. $1.29 is what they lost last time per share. This time, they cut it down to 49. Get the drift here. Revenue rose 18% to about $19.5 billion above the estimates. The cash burn also improved markedly. $2.3 billion was what they burned. They burned about $4 billion last time around this year. So good look there. CEO Kelly Ortberg said Boeing will still seek FAA approval to ramp up their 737 MAX production to 42 jets per month this year. Currently, they're restricted to 38 jets per year after that January 2024 door plug incident. Don't remind me about that. Deliveries increased as well at 83 planes, from 83 to 130, which obviously helps boost the commercial aircraft revenue by an eye-watering 75% here, up to $8.1 billion. And they're making money from defense and government contracts as well, despite the fact that the defense unit revenue dropped 9%. They did secure that new Air Force contract to develop the F-47 fighter jet, which was endorsed by President Donald Trump. And to build on your point here, the trade war and the tariff risks, Brendo, the results in the earnings report only reflect tariffs through March 31st, but Boeing is now in the crosshairs of the Trump's escalating trade war, with China canceling some of those orders. Executives are expected to face tariff-related questions, as you mentioned during the earnings call, and tariffs could raise costs on aircraft materials and imported components.
Yeah, anyone looking at this, just be aware, it looks like some comments still coming through here from the call. So that's the daily chart right now. We're obviously well above these levels, but a long way to go for Boeing.
I mean, the good news is even if China slows or stops buying temporarily, you're going to find other places to be able to sell the planes. There's just a lot and enough demand out there. The other side is, I know they're still losing money with Boeing, but if you wait until Boeing's actually making money and you want to buy the stock, it'll be trading near the 250 level or something like that. Certainly above 220 at that point. So I think you're looking for what we're getting here, which is you're starting to see a turnaround. And it's going to be even better if we don't have this, or if we do have this tariff war end. I think that'll be even better. The 50 and the 200 have decided to converge here, showing us 165 to 166. Now, typically, it's like buy into that dip. Boeing is 5% away from that level today, which makes it pretty tricky for that standard play. Like, so many things have rallied so far. We sat down, like this was actually trading at 167 this morning, and it seemed very probable. You get a little bit of a dip, play 65 to 66. It'll either require a lot of patience or Boeing just might be a hands-off play, which is fine. There's gonna be enough to trade today. I mean, if you're looking at, like I said, AMD and IBIT and Tesla and GDX and other chip names, if you're into that, there's Chinese names moving around. So I don't know that the day trading price comes in here for Boeing, but this, I always put it in a 3-day rule. This holds the 50 and 200 period moving averages this week, then I sold my Boeing shares. Just that's the first thing I should have said. I want to get back in. That's simple.
Yeah, I haven't sold anything, but I want to say to people, man, you guys are selling us short right here. Over 8,400 watching right now. We can at least get this to 1,000. You know, I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable. So if we can try to buy the likes right now from you, let's get that like button, hit it, let's get going there. If we can go, even if just 1 out of every 3 of you hits it, we would be pretty happy with that. Yeah, there's no effort there. Just go over there, hit the like, let us know you like the show, and hit the subscription if you can too as well. Completely free to subscribe to it, and then the only way to get part of the chat, which we're looking at, yo, what's up to Flutgoss? Right there. What's up, Floodcosts? All right, we're going to look at the imbalances in just a minute. That's an interesting name. Yeah, so Boeing, I was bidding 125. I mean, hands, you know, up on that one, and we had missed it. I didn't even realize it got down this low. I was just trying to find out where, you know, how low Boeing has gotten. We missed that one. We should have been bidding 135, it looks like, because that was that bottom there. This is actually, I take it back, this might be the biggest winner of China. Any sort of talk there with China, Boeing will win, and win real hard, much more than Apple. So, you know, you're just waiting for that announcement that the Chinese are in there buying, you know, 40 planes or whatever they're going to do for Boeing. So I think Boeing continues to win, and it's a great stock, and you want to get long Boeing at any time. I would say now, monopolistic anyways, venture is BA above the 200. Earnings are now behind them. Boeing is a winner for the long term, in my opinion anyways. So there we go. We said that there was going to be some bids coming through, right? It's not even that, it's not as big as I had thought, right? Because like 400,000, definitely deal with that. There's your Tesla bid that we talked about as well. So that's coming in the form of TSLL. Obviously, TSLA is going to be here as well. It's already at that VWAP level, so that is a no-go there. The NASDAQ comes with a bid. So, you know, this will create, there's a lot of buys here. Once those settle down, you know, the market's already sort of taking these in consideration. So I do feel like the NASDAQ will come through. I'm bidding IBIT, NVIDIA, and Palantir, and the NASDAQ right now. Look, there's the bids again. There's Amazon coming through with the bid. There it goes to the upside. There's Uber coming with a bid. Uber, $76. Let's go. We've been sort of talking about that one, building that position, our average price. And we had to hold this against ourselves, and we had talked about our position as we're building it, right? This is not something where it's like, oh, by the way, I'm long Uber or anything like that. I mean, $65, $66 is our average price on that, so that's a nice one. But looky what I see right here. Apple coming with a sell. So that's a little bit interesting to me, with the NASDAQ being up 3, and NASDAQ's going now. Remember, we have that NASDAQ bid there. SQQ sell, TQQ bid, right? So flip it over, and you have that. I just saw Google on here as a bid. So we'll let these all settle down as what the plan was. But right now, NVIDIA is starting to pair off a little bit. But there's the move higher, right? We said at 925, watch out now. But 2 minutes now till open. Let's go talk quickly about Enphase.
All right, we'll wrap up with Enphase here quickly as we get close to the open, the one heading in the opposite direction so far today. Back to lows here, basically. It just bounced off lows once again. Not a lot of volume so far this morning. If you zoom out to a weekly chart, this collapse of this thing is just impressive. That's November of 2022, just to refresh everyone's memory. 340.
So just before I give you the earnings report on this, I want to give you an idea of how poorly this stock has performed relative to its peers. So the Invesco Solar ETF is down 28% in the last 12 months. Yeah, Enphase is down 50%, so it's almost doubling the losses there of the ETF. So earnings, Q1 earnings, 68 cents per share. The street wanted 73 on revenue of 356 million. The street was looking for 362, so a miss on the top and bottom line. Q2 outlook: tariffs to reduce gross margins by about 2 percentage points. That's for Q2. Q3, it gets worse. They're looking for margins to get cut by 6 to 8 percentage points because the Tariff CEO confirmed that the tariff pressure is mainly due to battery cells. We'll go to Adara for the, or are we going?
Let's go to the.
No, we're good? Okay. Yeah, so that not a good look, guys, for Q1 earnings for Enphase.
About that, I just want to say big congratulations to us because you guys are there for us. 1.5K, we just doubled the likes right there. So my hat's off to all of you. So let's go talk about a stock that we won't trade. What's up with Enphase?
You know, if it gets to 49.5 to 50, that's the only place I'm fading it. It's $2 away. It's just one of those mean reversion if the market goes ham and it drags Enphase along with it. But let's get this party started. It's hump day as well, everybody.
Yeah,
so it's Tesla earnings day. It is Powell's off the ledge. Well, I guess it would have been the plank, not the ledge. And we'll get that bell in 2 and 1. Adara, ring it.
All right, let's go. All right, so I'm looking for an early fade here. I mean, you have all the bids out. We'll see if that happens. I mean, it looks like the market is not doing that at all. And here we go. We're starting to take off immediately to the upside as there we go. We take out. Good one. It is a good one as the bulls are back in the building right now, it seems like.
Tesla's falling.
Apple, yeah, Apple downside. Yeah, we said Tesla would get to that 260. You said falling or flying? Falling.
No, falling.
We're going to have to watch out. So there it is, 250, the 200 period. Okay, but it's for me, it's Palantir. I did want to look at that one. And again, we had mentioned some of these stocks will give some back. They were up huge. I mean, it's right on our note. So let's wait to see what does happen with Palantir. Let's not get this too excited about getting in immediately now and just try to watch out for some of those levels. 96.50 is what I'm bidding on right now on Palantir. And if that comes in, great. It may not. We just might have wicked that bottom in and around 98. But it's early days right now in this market. Holding the 50 period, sure, fine. Tesla 250 right now coming into play, so that could be a level.
Tesla's really dropping.
Yep.
No, Tesla's really the one moving the most here. Look, Nvidia's falling as well, but it's Tesla down to this 251. I think it's going to come in at 250. That's a heavy candle. I don't want to be sitting in front of catching a falling knife. I am sitting on the bid of IBIT, but that's seemingly completely irrelevant as Bitcoin's right back to 94,000 and holding above. So weakness in Tesla, strength over in Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, what's the point? If you don't get an initial dip, if it gets down, we'll know Bitcoin is down $1 if it goes down $1. It's breaking out the high. We might just have to look at VWAP for this bad boy as we're dropping like a rock here in Tesla. 250 in play.
Yeah, for sure. As many of these names right now, man, are starting to get down. 250 in play for that one. Palantir, Oppo. I mean, Palantir is just like, nah, we good. And it looks like it wants to break through $100. I'm going to put a stop now, breaking through that $100, like a buy through that $100 marker. Just worth taking that shot, I would think, anyways, now. As we had just dipped down into the 200 period and then just starting to rip right back to the upside. Tesla just breaks
no buyers.
That 250 right now. And it looks like a lot of profit taking, obviously, on that name. As we had saw Tesla come in. This is too dramatic for me. This is why I didn't write it down. And we had talked about not getting involved in this day after earnings. But now it looks like maybe it's just got washed out a little bit there for Tesla. So, yeah, I'll sit there and try now. We just had that little bottom. I mean, maybe we finally got something there. That's 249 or so. So if we break down below that, we'll sit again at 249 and change. And if it does break lower, then we'll get out. So we'll put in, what is the low for that? I mean, did it break 249? I guess it, no. If this does break 249, then we're just going to get out of this one and say, okay, the long, there, well, okay. The long is not in. That was fast. So a quick little dollar hit there. Nothing too crazy. We do want to wait for something. Just thought that if that was going to go and we were going to head to the upside, then I did like it. But now you're going to have to let this bottom out a little bit because definitely the short there through 250, as we had mentioned. Oh, yeah.
No, I was in exactly the same trade, but there was just a seller that for 87,000 shares underneath 250 that just got eaten alive in one shot. Shoot, that might have been the turn when they hit that guy. It was 87,000 shares just got eaten up at about 48.9.
Really? Okay.
Sorry, 249.8. and they just got eaten in one turn. So there's a battle happening at 250. I think the buyers are starting to get control of this again. I'm looking over. Bitcoin's trying to pull back into VWAP, so I do have my eyeballs on that. That's a much stronger name. It's not catching a falling knife. You're trying to get into the trend trade over on BTC. But that buyer, I think they're starting to hold a bit above 250 now. So that big buyer, or sorry, big seller got eaten up. It wasn't a big buyer. It was a big seller got eaten in one shot. Buying on green makes more sense than buying on red. VWAP now sits at 252 for anyone that's into that on Tesla. Still nothing doing for me on Bitcoin, though, because it does not want to drop. This market is breaking out the highs. Like, we're taking 19,000 on the NASDAQ as we speak.
Yeah, there goes Tesla. Tried to get through 250 there. Now it's fading back out again as well. So there it goes, down through 249
just lost 49
Yeah.
again.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't even looking at it, but I was looking at the other screen. Yeah, just lost 49 again. Palantir coming up, you know, up to that $100 mark. So that could be a trade there for sure. Let's check out what some of the other names are doing here. As NVIDIA 104, so that's kind of bouncing around. I'm just looking for something to hit, right? So Intel's not doing too much. AMD maybe. Let's have a quick little look at that. 92 and change here for AMD. So the market's rallying. I mean, that's great. The NASDAQ is definitely starting to go back up. So where is the strength, we say? Because we've been trying to chase Tesla. That doesn't look like it. Apple's no strength as well. Yeah, I was just looking at the same thing. It just looks like Palantir and everybody else seems to want to be the ones carrying this market. Amazon, we love.
Amazon's up at 6.5. That's to the upside. That's looking pretty strong. You're going to look at Google. I'll show you Microsoft at the high of the day and breaking out. It's just unbelievable. AMD wants 10% today, I guess. It's going to be one of those, I don't want to chase the move, but are we only going to get stuck chasing the move? NVIDIA's breaking 103.5 down and AMD's at the high. Like, what is going on with this name? Let's go to Adara. What is going on with NVIDIA?
OGen this morning, or Agenix, OGEN. They're set to attend the 15th Annual Traumatic Brain Injury Conference from May 5th to 6th, and their Chief Clinical Officer, Dr. W. Frank Peacock, is going to be presenting an update on their HeadSmart 2 trial. They're partnered here in HeadSmart through its collaboration with BrainBox Solutions, and the goal of this partnership is to create a test-to-test platform for looking into mild traumatic brain injury. So keep an eye here on OGEN. Back to you.
Names are falling down.
Yeah, I'm going to try to bid a little bit here on Tesla because it's coming in right now. Okay, that's still Google. I was looking at Google. The market's falling.
This isn't a long.
So right there, 246. Tesla right now at the 50-period moving average. You know, it's tough. I don't really like trading names too much off earnings, but you know, this one's just moving just enough to get me a little bit excited here anyways. So there's the dip buy opportunity. Tesla only up 4% right now. So we'll try to buy it down here at 246. We just talked about that 50-period moving average right here and this bottom in and around 244. So I have a stop of 244. If we break that, then we're gone. We'll try more at 245 and change. But here it comes in again. Tesla, yeah, it doesn't make me feel very comfortable about what it's doing right here. But at the end of the day, you know, we're here to trade it, and it's now $1 in the money, but we're going to see if we can get a little bit more. I'm going to put an offer at 248.50 or so, just because to try to pick a spot here, I don't know. But if this does ramp up, I do want to be there in case there's a buyer that just comes in and markets in or something. So right now I'm going to be long. Look, it's 70 cents in the money. If you like it, take it. I'm going to try to hold to see if we can get a little bit of a bigger move coming for TSLA. And then looks like it only wants to go down. And then Palantir also turned almost to the penny off of 100. So now it's at it was at 99.87. Trying to dip buy opportunity here into the 200 period is 98.20. So, all right. I mean, Tesla's now there it goes. Wow, we just got that fill on Tesla, 248 and change. It is a hot dog kind of a trade right there. So there it goes, man. Nice trade right there. That was...
The market just levitated.
Yeah, exactly. Of course it did. There it goes, man. There's 240. It's $3 in the money right now, Neil. Now we're good to go. There it goes, man. Nice move right now. Let's go, Tesla. Let's go, Palantir. We're starting to bump up. Probably irresponsible to be punching this long, but we just got in to Palantir right there. Tesla, Neil, $4 in the money. money. Let's go. I hope some of these longs start to work.
That's insane. I went from on the bid to taking a breakout in Bitcoin. Let's go to Adara. What the hell just happened?
Breaking news here. Wall Street Journal reporting that the White House is considering slashing China tariffs to de-escalate the trade war, according to sources. So again, I want to clarify, sometimes when we get talks from this, they are eventually denied by the White House. As of right now, though, Wall Street Journal reporting that the White House is considering slashing China tariffs. I'm going to be looking at the White House Rapid Response Team account on X to see if there's any comment here, but good luck for the NASDAQ and good luck for the market. Back to you.
Oh boy. Well, this is what you're waiting for, right? This is what we talk about these markets for, baby. And there's the long in Palantir. Let's go. Here we go, man. We're back in the building right now. Forget about all those demons in Tesla because them have been exercised. Nice move back there to the upside. Will it hold? I don't know. I mean, this is one of those things
we're
where,
pulling back already.
You know, yeah, exactly. We'll probably give something back. So let's not get too excited here. But that was a nice story. Obviously, we're sitting here trading. Look at the market. Just rips up to 5% there or so, and now all the way back in. So there it comes right back down. Good thing we're getting out of some of these trades, but that was fun while it lasted. Now let's see if it can last just a little bit longer here right now. So yeah, I'm long, and I'm pretty comfortable staying that way.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of that. I was sitting on bid at 53 on iBit with a breakout order that just insta-filled. And should we have scalped it? Yeah, probably. But the second I'm throwing orders out there at 53.8, you're already breaking right back underneath the volume weighted average price. If we lose the bid here again, that's nasty if we lose this bid because we just went under 19,000. So I'm going to take the L. We should have been long at the bottom. Instead, all of a sudden, I'm just getting filled on the breakout trade out of nowhere. And the quotes went absolutely nuts. So wild price action. I'm going to back off, see how we resolve this. If we do end up holding VWAP or holding trend higher, that's going to be a different story. We didn't get, AMD didn't really give us anything because there was no pop down at all. You're still holding VWAP. This is at least trending up, but that crazy whipsaw action. Let's see if we can hold 19,000. I think that's going to be a big one. Time to hopefully get into the tech name that we wanted, which was Advanced Micro Devices, if we get down into VWAP again. That held on all that crazy spike action at 91 and a half.
Thank you, everybody there in the chat, man. I mean, yeah, we're having a good time here, needless to say, right here so far. So there goes Palantir. It's the #1 stock on the list. It doesn't get down to our levels. I would have loved to have bought something lower, obviously, when we get that kind of a news. But we already had that break of 100, so we actually get $100.15. That was the maximum that I pushed. I only wanted to cross 15 cents. So, again, we talk about slippage all the time. Well, there's slippage right there. But, at the same time, it is going and it is rippage right now. So forget about the slippage when you have the rippage. And there it goes right now. 70 cents in the money off that $100 break right now for Palantir. And we are throwing our hands up in the air. But it's not like we don't care. We're very happy right now with what's been happening here. Did Bitcoin go down there?
It just lost the top. The breakout was an absolute fail. The dip buy was good, which was the initial plan. But I was saying, let's explain that entire thing. What was so nasty about that move is you could have scalped it instantly out for like 20 or 30 cents. I didn't hit offer enter in that moment, and it broke the prior bar low on the breakout, which is a rule of mine. And it's actually trending down. It could be a bad wick out, but if we don't hold 19,000, I don't want back in. I do not need to get trapped on a tariff headline in the wrong direction on the stock, especially when AMD is holding higher lows. And that's looking much, much stronger. Let's go back to Adara, see if we have more.
We have some more commentary coming through, actually from China. We'll start with that. Apparently, China's foreign minister in a meeting with his Iranian counterpart. So China's foreign minister reportedly saying to Iran's foreign minister that U.S. abuse of tariffs has lost popularity and that the U.S. has actually isolated itself from the international community as a result. This came from a statement from the ministry. So again, conversation here between the Chinese foreign minister and the Iranian foreign minister, basically about U.S. lack of popularity. Also, Wall Street Journal reporting that Trump's decision to not try and fire Jerome Powell actually has to do with Bessent. So Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, and Howard Lutnick there raising some concerns about this decision. Also, Scott Bessent said to speak at 10 a.m. Eastern, so stay tuned for that. Could be an interesting one. Back to you.
All right.
What is going on?
I'm just going to hold on to Palantir, man. I mean, honestly, we've been talking about, I should maybe put on the hat right now. We'll support our Blue Jays, though. Here we go. It is... It's a morning, man. And we had looked at that $100 mark for PLTR. So I'm out of half right now at 10. I mean, we just took a bunch out at 101. Mainly a lot of outs here in the 60s and 70s. We do have a bunch out in the 90s for Palantir right here. So a bunch of outs there. We did get out at the 50s when it first started to bump up there. And then let's just have a look quickly here on Tesla and just have another look there. So like we had said here, I only have 2 trades right now. I'll still be red in Tesla because I told you the level that we were looking at was that 244. So I was trying to get more at 245. You know, I wish we had the same amount of shares that we had once it was breaking, but we don't. So it doesn't matter, though. We can still get this back. We're just going to have to wait for a bigger move. And that's not what I'm doing. I'm not trading the net. I'm trying to trade what I'm seeing right here. So that's 250 right there. We've topped out in and around 250. So I do have my next out, make sure it's, 249.85. So I feel pretty confident with that one. But no P&L, no cry, because right now we have Palantir, which always seems to be a P&L mover, that's for sure, whether it's up or down. There goes Palantir. Now $1 in the money on Palantir, $2 in the money. So this guy over here is now at the club 3 times. Right there. We've got 2 on Tesla. We've got 1 on Palantir. But the market's still early, right? It's only 9:44. Let's see what winds up going on right now. You know, in the broader market, the NASDAQ is still just kind of holding out, right? So Palantir is way more aggressive than the market. I'm going to take that opportunity to get some more. Okay. Get some more out there at 101.20s. Like, all right, nice move there. Let's see if Tesla wants to keep on going. I have NVIDIA's gone. My IBIT level, I mean, I'm assuming IBIT, and that's why I asked Neil, like, what? NASDAQ, crypto went down.
Crypto is still trending down.
Yeah,
it's not going. NVIDIA doesn't look good. That's surprising to me. That's why I'm backed off. ARM's up 9%. Yay, ARM, but I wish I was in that one. Well, okay, look, day trading, I wish I was in that one. AMD doesn't seem to want to drop here, and I keep looking at this heavy bid on NVIDIA and thinking we're going to get a dip on AMD. We got numbers coming out. The only big number here today is at 9:45. We got PMI, Adara.
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, sorry for the delay here. We did get these S&P PMI numbers. Services PMI, 51.4, lower than the expected 52.6. S&P manufacturing PMI, higher than expected, 50.7 versus 49. And then S&P Composite PMI 51.2, a little bit lower than 52 expected. We've got new home sales coming through at 10 a.m., as well as comments from U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. So stay tuned at 10. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Adara, for all of that. All right, so Tesla's not acting properly, that's for sure. I mean, the market's starting to rip, and Tesla is dip. So I still have that bid there at 245, and we still have that offer at 250. So that's a $5 range, and right now we're stuck in the middle at 247.50. So we'll just wait for this one to come through here. We absolutely ripped it on Palantir. Let's go over and have a quick look at NVIDIA. The level that we were bidding was 101.50. I mean, that's not... Oh, well, that didn't come too far, though, actually. It came out to 102.50 down there at that low, so we do miss that. But there goes NVIDIA nicely cooking now, back up to the upside. I'm not sure. We've gotten, oh, by the way, we got more and more out here of Palantir. As that went. You guys saw me get that. We had half, right? And then we got 102, 101.50. We got 101.30s, 101.20s. Then we just got some more out here in the 60s. We got another piece out here at 101.85. So we've been getting lighter and lighter on this trade. Unfortunately, right now, 40% left of Palantir. But I don't want to switch the game too much here. Amazon, you know, the name that I'm looking at, I just said, like, I trade my Amazon position for Google, and maybe that's something that I'm going to do here after this show. Get out of Google, or at least empty some of that out, get into Amazon. I don't mind buying it up 7%. I don't like that, but at the same time, if I like the stock, I got to like the stock. And there goes Amazon. My dip buys were very, very limited over the last 2 weeks. I mean, you probably heard me say nothing because I didn't do anything. But the one thing here is, I told you about JP Morgan. We really like this one, so we did not get reloaded, but it is. Another one. And so we will ride that bull on JP Morgan to the upside. No offers for me on that one just quite yet, but up 4.5%. We're long this name at 230, and that's in the swing account. We swang it to the depths of hell down into 200, and now it's up to 245. So still definitely thinking about getting some out here on JP Morgan once lunchtime hits. So that's what we're going to do right now. Here comes Tesla, man, just still bleeding to the downside one more time.
It might fill this gap into 243 at this rate. So that's what I'm looking at next. Ideally, I mean, AMD's not pulling back. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but Intel's going to get to $21. So yeah, Intel at 21. Actually I did add that on the note. I just didn't think this was going to happen. So $21, you're still a good percentage away. Do not want to don't jump into shorts early. When the market's going down, don't jump into longs early. When the market's going up, if you like the level, let it get to the level. I'm not trying to take 80s. I'm not trying to take 70s. I think it's got to have a 2090 or and above if I'm going to be short on that name. I still don't see the strength you want out of IBIT here. It's still going to be trending down off the open, but it's just one bar. The breakout on the headline and then the immediate loss of support, but it's trying to close green on the 15-minute, which would be a good sign. If it holds a bit on the 15-minute, then I would jump back into the trade to the long side. But that Tesla gap is trying to fill back in. 242, if 50 can't hold, the only other place to look is prior resistance turning into support. It might be a little bit closer to 243, but I think you're splitting hairs at that point. I don't think I'd get out unless it broke 42s. But we're getting in there because this market's strong and Tesla is incredibly weak, at least for now. And NVIDIA, I don't know what to tell you about NVIDIA. The reason why it's not breaking out like AMD, but it's starting to attempt the whole view up. I don't want to jinx it. I'm very much preferring AMD longs. There's just this crazy trend that does not want to dip at all on advanced micro devices, and I don't want to be punching highs on a tariff headline.
Yeah. The punching highs on the tariff headline for Palantir for some reason worked, but Palantir has been a monster. So, and we already sort of indicated that we liked that before that headline. So just got us in. And I was a little bit, to Neil's point there, we had faded a lot of these moves once we had gotten headlines before. So we're starting to get more, I'm starting to get out. Like, we made everything back on the Tesla loss just on this Palantir trade. So we're going to just hold on to that as Tesla comes rifling right back in, and maybe we'll just give it all back right now to see what winds up happening with Tesla down here at 245. I said we try to take that bid, so let's try it. Wow, we just missed it. I was waiting actually at 245. It doesn't look like that hit, so now I'll go to 245.50. There it is. Now we're long there on Tesla just to see if this one wants to go. We're only going to give it the 244 break, so we'll see if that one wants to come in again, and it looks like it is coming back just a little bit. My next long will be there at 244 like 50s, and then we will drop it like it's hot if it doesn't hold right there for Tesla. So we'll see if it comes through, man. So far so good. I mean, we just got it's another $1 right there off the reload. I mean, we're in it. I know it was basically a one and done for Tesla, one and done for IBIT over there, but that makes sense because the market has to give you what you need. And right now we've got what it needs as far as Tesla is concerned, as far as Palantir. We just got 101.20s there. And, thank you for everybody hitting the likes at the beginning. It's definitely created a lot of fun around here for us to be able to do this show and to be able to show you. I mean, I said to Neil and to Sharif, this is what I want to do. I want to show people that, we can sit here and trade and scalp and win, because we often get some of these trades, and you could see I'm the only one in right now. Neil's going to wait for something, but this is what trading is all about. Trying to be patient. We're going to be green today. I'm going to be green today, and it's been a good morning, and I think we can get a hell of a lot higher than where we are right now. So I'm excited. Love being here every day, and I want to thank everybody for being here with us. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and if you're following me, then it's been a face slapper. We just need Tesla to get back a little bit higher. Can we get to 250? It's now, Neil, it's $2 off that reload. So there we go, man. Traders got to trade. We're sitting here trying to make those trades, but they could fall back real quick, like it just did right there. So you got to get some out when you start to bump up like that. So interesting day so far, needless to say.
No questions asked. I mean, I'm in Tesla as well. I've also got a dip buy in IBIT. We're really starting to come back in here as I just saw, AMD just had a bit of a bottoming tail wick as well, but Tesla was just cruising, and then you just saw the heavy bid come right back about a couple of dollars. IBIT finally held on to the volume-weighted average price. We had that breakout trade that failed, but it's holding. It's finally held on the VWAP, wicked it, so it's like, okay, well, if you're not going to hold VWAP, then play off the low of the day. This was one that's been a good long for multiple days in a row for me, so I don't want to give up on it in a strong market, but it's distinctly different. If you follow up a high of day breakout in the open with breaking out the lows, then that is not something that I'm fighting underneath that pre-market price. Remember, the original plan was support at 52.65. So this is all longs well above 52.65. We lose that bid, I'm sitting it out for full percentage point. So let's wait around. This market does not look as healthy as it seems because you have so many weak names out there. Okay, we're bouncing the view up a bit. Like NVIDIA's trying to take the low. Tesla's barely bouncing when it's going at all and still trending to the downside. So you got to be a bit careful here because if we lose 19,000, there's a lot of also trapped longs in this market. Let's go to Adara.
ERV looking pretty good this morning. This is a Serve Robotics, bit of a topping tail candle right now, but trying to hold on to this $6 level. Nice little breakout for this one. This is a retail favorite, about a 20% short float, but no news that I could find on SERV. Back to you.
All right. I mean, I'm still doing my own thing here with trading those Tesla longs. We're long at 245.80 right now. Watching out for that. If there's any other names, I mean, I'm looking at the chat to try to find out. Everyone's still kind of looking at the same names as well. Apple not doing anything right now, so we'll have to hold out, hope that can get going at some point. I'm gonna wait on Apple anyways for now. Netflix does hit all-time highs. They're now $1,000.50 right now. Well, there goes Tesla right now. So yeah, exactly. So out of Tesla, I don't know if you wanted to go over that. I actually bought your sell there, it looks like.
Well, I'm not holding through any lows of the day. It's just not going to happen. Not the way that we're going down. We got one little bounce, and then we just immediately flush right down underneath. Like, it doesn't look as healthy as I would like to see here. So I'm going to back off that one again. You know, if we're going to hold through the low, it's not going to be on Tesla, at least not yet, until we filled in the entirety of the gap at 242. Still a little too far away to dig in. I don't want to be all in unless we're staring down that prior low or prior high at 242. IBIT is trying to hold on to the bid. NVIDIA's not going to get to, NVIDIA is just breaking the low of the day as well. So NVIDIA 100 becomes in play. Yeah. And I think AMD is about to get to VWAP. So this will be the first time today that AMD is going to tag VWAP outside of one wick right there at the open. So the strongest chip name, second strongest chip name, ARMS actually was up more, coming back in here and looking like it wants to test VWAP as the NASDAQ might lose 19,000 right here. Adara?
Small cap and watch here. SLXN selection. This one, much like Serve Robotics, which we just saw, has rallied rather frequently in the past. They're announcing this morning a collaboration with Catalent with regards to this formulation, development, and clinical manufacturing activities. But SLXN, again, in addition to being a rather frequent small cap runner, also has a float of about 7.5 million shares. So pretty small float there for Selection Therapeutics. Back to you.
Yeah, guys, some will win, some will lose, and that's what happens in this market at the end of the day. I mean, the shorts had great opportunities to cash, right? I mean, that 19,000 was a huge level on the NASDAQ, so that would be something there as well. And as Neil just said, you see the completely different trading styles. You know, we're going to try to hold. We gave you our target out. They don't have to be the same, obviously, as we make our decisions independently. But there it is, man. We hit the dollar club again right now. It's $2 off that reload now on Tesla as it just continues to go higher. The problem, though, is not Tesla. Well, the problem is Tesla. I think the Tesla is weak. But I think that, again, our target is where it is. We're just trying to, you know, massage this play. I don't love trading earnings, but the way that moved and sort of what we can get out of it, I think, is still quite great on Tesla. If we break 99.50, I want to get out of this, but I'm thinking now even VWAP for Palantir. So I'm going to change that right now. I'm going to give it to like 99.89. I think it will just snap and get out if that does wind up happening. Now remember, that's going to be a hit, and we're still in about just over a third. I'm going to 8% or so of this trade, I am still in. So I'm going to offer something in the 60s. If we're able to get that, great. But right now, the market, as you can see, is still okay. It's still holding 19,000 right there. So I said 19,000 up there. That was 19.1. It's 19,000 is what we're holding on the bid. So if that can stay cool with it, then I'll rock with it, right? And right now, there's Tesla. Like I said, Neil's exit was my buy, and we're going to have different ideas. But if 244 breaks, then I'm joining this guy over here, taking more L's on Tesla because I am down on Tesla today. And I mean, this is going to have to get above 250 and continue to climb for me to get green on it. Tesla's been a bad trade today, and I've only had 2 trades. And I know you tried IBIT again there.
Well, I only have this, I'm in a third one for the first time. It's just AMD.
Yeah, and I like AMD. I mean, I like all these names today, but
I don't like Tesla today.
No. It's
holding 19,000 and losing the bid does not make a lot of sense to me. But remember, a lot of people, the sentiment might still be a big deal here, obviously, with Tesla. And like the quarter wasn't all that good. I'm not into like the whole try to put the analyst hat on, try to observe the price action. So AMD just bounced VWAP. It got to the half and then faded. So 50 cents in the money, not the $0.50. We're long here in front of quarters, and it got to like 70s and then pulled back. So you're still holding above the volume weighted average price. That's a hefty trend break if we lose it here. And I'm looking at some of the other names. Like I'm looking at ARM as well. NVIDIA is not really behaving the way the rest of the chip names. ARM is also doing the same thing, trying to hold on to VWAP. Intel's trying to hold on to VWAP. You've got Micron here as well. When that one loads up, that's trying to hold on to VWAP. All while NVIDIA is just chilling out at the bottom. I think if NVIDIA gets to VWAP, these other ones are going to absolutely fly. I prefer their strength. Don't know what's wrong with NVIDIA. Part of me saying I should be looking to short it, but I'm going to stick with the long as we're above 19,000. But it's going to be an AMD for sure, as long as we're holding that volume-weighted average price. One last thing before we go to Adara. Robinhood up 10 points and just broke the 50-period moving average. Even if we dip, the 50 period's at 45.35. I was trying to get that one in a little bit earlier. I didn't notice it. I saw people talking about it in the chat. I'm like, I like things at the 50-period moving average in the daily. Good look for Robinhood. Let's go to Adara. That should have been on the list.
We are just getting here. These new home sales numbers coming in at 724 million homes sold, well above the expectation of 685,000. New home sales change month over month. Accordingly, higher than expected. 7.4% versus 1.3% expected. Scott Bessent also just took the podium here, so be aware Scott Bessent will be speaking here amidst all these concerns about a trade war between the U.S. and China. Here is the NASDAQ. Lots of fluctuation happening here for the QQQs. And we got Boeing here on watch earnings day one. They did actually beat on EPS and sales. Tesla, a little bit of a weaker report, though they did get some positive analyst notes, including from notably bullish Dan Ives of Wedbush. Also, CEO Elon Musk indicated he's going to be spending a little bit less time at the Department of Government Efficiency. I'll be watching this Scott Bessent remark or speech, and I will let you guys know if anything market moving comes of that. Back to you.
We've got 250 on that Tesla reload down there. So, yeah, you are hitting it. You are getting some chicken dinner winners. Thank you, Scott. But, yeah, so far so good here as the money's coming in right now to the longs, baby. There goes Tesla. We got 247. We're at 248.95. So we missed that. And again, there's just, when this news hits, it's buy, ask, or bid, and people pull,
that
right?
Was ask.
Yeah, but then the bid fell just as much there on Tesla. Tesla right there. If you know, and again, I'm here. Hopefully we can help guide you guys through all of this. But that was 248 and 245. That had basically a 450 range in 1 minute right there on 450. Like, that is a monster move there for Tesla, one way or the other. You don't want to get caught. We took the opportunity. We told you we're at 101.60s. We actually got 101.57s and 101.50s there. So getting lighter, $100.50 coming out for Palantir. So that was a good one there for PLTR. Again, I have higher hopes for this name. Hopes. We'll see if that can come into play. Still bidding NVIDIA 101.50, still bidding IBIT 52.50. And yeah, just trying to follow the plan, man. It's always nice when we do follow the plan, but we didn't do it again today because we took Tesla. And Tesla was on my radar, not at these levels, and we still took it anyways. It looks like we almost got that IBIT, man. I didn't even realize IBIT got that low. 52.50 is what I wrote down. So we're at 52.60. Man, that would have been crazy trade.
Yeah, the bottom wick was like 80s or something. I like that 65.
80s,
but like in that one candle, it was instantaneously reloaded at VWAP and then instantaneously out at 93 and 93 and a half. So like you're seeing crazy price action. It's going to be a wild one, ear to the ground, and that means we got to listen to Adara. Let's go to the desk.
We have some comments coming through from U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He just took the stage. He's saying here that apparently that America first does not mean America alone. And he said that China's current economic model is built on exporting its way out of economic troubles, and that the Trump administration actually wants to help China and the U.S. rebalance. So talking here, as expected, a lot about China and what's happening here with the U.S. If I see anything else here, I'll let you guys know. But it is worth noting he is currently speaking. Back to you.
Yeah, and that's the volatility that we're seeing. And there's no question about it. It's completely wild. Just to go back and slow things down a little bit, I know a few names that we haven't talked about. I got to look at GDX. I actually wrote GDX down on my note, but it was at 50.
4%.
It was 50 short on GDX, so let's not pretend I was looking at shorts down here. But someone's holding the offer at 48.4 on GDX. Actually, I was looking at this, not GLD. I'm just going to make the general assumption, which you shouldn't do, that they're similar, but they're not. Look at GLD. Like GLD's, someone's holding GDX in a range. Meanwhile, GLD is falling. I know GLD's down 4%, gold's down 3%, but the trends are very, very different. So I'm thinking catch up. If GLD's going to fall like this, explain to me why we're holding range in GDX. So if we're not going to get 50, I'm going to take a shot off this high. Was this or Enphase for the shorts, and Enphase ain't at 50. So I want to short this off the top. If gold bounces and goes ham, fair enough, but the sellers are at 48.40 on GDX, the gold miner ETF.
Yeah, we called gold down yesterday, so we're pretty happy with that move today. As everybody says, it's breaking out, time to go long, and that's generally speaking the opposite. But it's been great along. I mean, gold's been absolutely hot fire. What's up, Marcus James Reed? Says, I try to throw you a bone every once in a while or every now and then. Let's look at APH. So let's have a quick look at APH, another name that, we don't cover because it doesn't have too much volume here right now. And you're talking about
Come to me, please.
Amphenol. So Amphenol, Adair's live, Mike is still live anyways. Amphenol right here, 73 and change. So a nice move. Maybe it was, don't really know what they do, but I'm going to throw you a bone as well and give you some look on Amphenol. Good level. Trying to take out 75. If we zoom out, you can see 76. It looks like a nice top. Whoops. But we'll have to watch out there. Watch out for 80. That could be the top there, my guy. Watch out for that, but a good look. Thank you for bringing it up. And I mean, meanwhile, we still have Tesla at the bottom right now. Good move, downside. Like I said, man, we had held this. It's back up. Thank you, Randy. Back up there into 247. I'm waiting for 248. Palantir continues to climb. We're on one again today, Randy. So, so far so good here. Dollar and change on Palantir. We're seeing if that can go through 101 to give us that dollar. And then Tesla has been a tough one because we danced with the devil there at 250, Randy, and then it gave it up. And then since then we bought. Yeah, we need this thing to get back to VWAP, which is what I'm waiting for. So hands off the keyboard on that, and we have 248.50. Whoa, there we go. It's okay. No, I got some napkins here. Randy, you filled it too much.
Look, if I had a nickel,
but it's okay. It doesn't really matter.
No,
coffee. Good thing I'm wearing black.
No, I'm going to say Randy did a really good job with what's the word? The coating.
Finishing.
The finishing on this.
Varnish.
The varnish, because I spilled so much crap on this. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'll take that every time because now we're $3 in the money on Tesla and $1 in the money on Palantir, as we just said. So I'm just going to wipe myself down a little bit right now and throw it over to Adara.
Again?
It is worth noting here, we have some interesting comments coming out about China from U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent as the market kind of oscillates here, a little bit more consolidated at this point. Basically, Scott Bessent is actually saying here that he wants the U.S. to be able to restore economic balance between all of these countries, and he's actually calling out the International Monetary Fund in the process. He's saying that basically China needs to be called out because they've pursued globally distortive policies and opaque currency practices. So still calling out China here, though, as mentioned earlier, there are some reports that the U.S. and the Trump administration are actually looking to or trying to restore or de-escalate some of these tensions between the U.S. and China. So more negative China commentary coming from U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent, despite reported comments he made yesterday suggesting he'd be interested in a de-escalation between the countries. Back to you.
Derek, we're now starting to maybe put in a red candle on the NASDAQ here. I was just checking GDX. GDX didn't really fill. You've been able to hold this volume-weighted average price on AMD just in front of 92, but now you're getting resistance after that headline at 93. So we're not really busting back up. I haven't gotten a reload since we had the print there right at 10 o'clock. So I want to see if we can hold VWAP again. It's not looking nearly as strong as we did before, but the market is holding above 19,000. So we're looking for the bounce and reload on that bad boy. As I said, GDX is something that we wanted to be short. Above volume-weighted average price here. I guess I can step down underneath VWAP here. It's under VWAP. Remember, this is, in theory, going to be counter to the market. Market goes up, this goes down. That's the idea. So we're not really playing anything counter trend by trying to short GDX under the volume-weighted average price. So we're back, finally back above 93 on AMD. High of the day, about 30, 40 cents away. I'm holding for 95s, and we're going back to a Dara.
We have some commentary here. As we know, the Wall Street Journal did report that the White House and the Trump administration are considering de-escalating some of these China tariffs. Now we have a White House official commenting to CNBC that these changes to China tariffs would not be unilateral. So they would not be one size fits all. It looks like it would definitely still be a bit specific depending on, I guess, the sector. But regardless here, the White House officials, I guess, taking out some of the air of this potential story regarding a drop in China tariffs. They said that any changes would not be affecting all of the China tariffs. Back to you.
I mean, I also want to thank everybody there who had the patience for Tesla, because right there, what's up, Brendo? We're trying to have the diamond hands that, this is now $4. So we just took that out. And there was that buy. And like I said, man, it had broke through that 245. My level was going to be 244. And we had held that. Obviously, on earnings, it's going to be a volatile name. And it's only up 4%. It was up 9% at one time. So my next offer for Tesla, believe it or not, is 252. I don't think we're going to get it, but let's wait to see if that does come through one more time. Palantir still doing its damn thing down here as well. All right, IBIT, I'm still watching. It'll be 93.4 right now. We might get into some IBIT at some point there, but it's I guess it's going to need to get to probably 92.5 for us to get the price that we need. Let's just have a quick little look here again to see what is moving around, and we'll sort this by the highest movers today. SOXL, the TQs as well. SMCI up 11%, right there. So that name continues to climb, although not doing much. You might be able to pick up some SMCI right there. We had talked about this a week ago and said that the name that was probably the most interesting was going to be Robinhood, because any kind of a tick up in the market, Robinhood flies. Love that business, love that company. What's up, Robinhood? Palantir up 8, Amazon up 8, ARM up 8, AMD up 8. What's up, Joe? I know you've got that one, my guy. Boeing right now up 6. Man, the best thing about Joe is like, he'll tell you when he's out, he'll tell you when he's in. This guy's an honest dude, man. He told us about his Tesla sell, so I forever respect that guy. Alibaba there, 122 as well, up 5%. SMH Coinbase up 6% as well. And over 10,000 of you watching right now. No better of a time right now to do what we do best around here. Neil, let's see who's joining us one more time here today, because it is time to go back to the original roll call, as right now Tesla's up $4. So if you're with me, if you're long in the chat, give one of those waves, my guy. What's up? Okay, it's about to get crazy. Okay, now it's going to get crazy. Chantel, Pizza Rat. Hey, Pizza Rat's here, my guy. Joe, Pizza Rat is in the building.
Holla.
Sean is here. Trey Only is here. Oh boy. Andrew Chow, the Roaring Griffin. It's Pitch Bowl. Let's go. Ice in the veins today for your boy. Charlie's here. GD is here. Mario's here. Omar, Joe, Wilson Wayne, Michelle Meir. I don't know, man. Somebody named Fouchette. Gworev. Gworev is in the building, my guy. Yo. There it is right now. Nunya Biz Neil is here as well.
What up, Nunya?
We just got 250 on Tesla. We got 101. We are rocking right now. If you think that this is just the beginning, you are right. We're about to go higher and higher. Thank you so much for watching. Your boy has done it again, though. We are now, Neil, $7 in the money on everything. There goes Tesla. Bang up to VWAP. We might as well get something out. You know, we might as well get something out. No sleep, no problem, I say. There it goes for Tesla. There it goes for Palantir. And we are rocking. Welcome, everybody. This is Trader TV Live. I'm Sean, and this is Neil.
We are here, everybody, and I'm holding through the high of the day. If we're not breaking out the high, then I'm waiting until we get the next dip opportunity. I think 95 is in play. I think double digits is in play for AMD. When in doubt, zoom out because this market wants to fly. So I'm zooming it out and saying, what's next? We've already made this push into prior resistance. I think we get to $95 on that bad boy. And you know what else is finally going? NVIDIA is now, 5% up isn't impressive because it's been trending down. NVIDIA is finally breaking this trend to the upside. The only thing that's not cooperating is still Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is trying to go here, but it's not breaking that trend. So if you join the lines, you hold VWAP, you break the trend. Ooh, I finally got GDX. Okay, so we got the GDX short off of VWAP. Now remember, gold is in some ways, I don't want to say it's like for sure, but in some ways negatively correlated to the market. So shorting this one as you've got resistance at 48.4 on GDX. GLD, for those of you that are looking at spot gold, GLD's at the low, trending down, market's at the high. I'm shorting GDX. That lost that big 51 level. So long AMD, short GDX. Still not going to get back into IBIT because it does not look like what we want to. Jameson in the chat. Yeah, TTD is also moving, but I got a million charts that look just as strong here. Bull flags to the left of them, bull flags to the right of them, all that good stuff. So shout out to Trade Desk. It's not a tremendous amount of volume. If it can get back above 52 quarter, 52 half, you're running into a bit of a resistance zone up there, and you got this weird topping tail candle. I never like those types of setups to enter along until you show me some green on the 15. So if you get that, I think you're good to go. When we get a shot at another dip buy in AMD off VWAP, we're certainly going to end up taking it here. I wish I had a great short idea for a fade at these tops, as strong as the market is, but I don't want to force anything. I don't consider GDX short a real short because it's kind of a long.
I mean, you could short Tesla. I mean,
no, I don't want to short Tesla.
Yeah, good
My
idea
plan
there.
was to go long Tesla at either 250 or the gap fill, and I went long at a bunch of prices that were not 250. I went long 250 once, which I was okay with, but I went long before it got to 42, 43, which is the gap fill.
Yeah, we have, and again, this is what we're talking about, guys. Like, it's just quite a market, man. I was getting long down there on Tesla at these prices, and right now we just took some out at the 50 period. At VWAP. I said my next offer was 252. Now I'm just going to wait for that. Now I just was like over the moon there on that move, so I'm going to go to 252 even right now, and I'm going to put out 20% of what we have left down there on Tesla, 252 even. Let's see if that can climb, okay? And then the other, we've only made 2 trades today, and we are green on the day, which I know it's, it's not an easy, although the market's doing this, it hasn't been easy. I mean, you can see what we're doing over here. NASDAQ is just doing nothing. It's barcoding right now. So you got to have the right stocks at the right price and be able to make some of the trades when they're there. I mean, I'm running out of confidence really at this point, to be honest with you. Palantir is already up 8%, and I asked myself, how much further can it go? Answer is a lot, but at the end of the day, it's a nice move up. We want to make sure that we do. I'm going to take another piece out. I'm talking myself out of it. I want to take another piece out. We just took a piece out there at 29. So I just want to make sure that at the end of the day, our net is still fine, and the thought that I have on the market still exists, right? And right now, I just feel that some of these stocks that we have, including Tesla, including Palantir right now, have run quite a bit considering the NASDAQ is now underneath the 50-period moving average. So I'm going to put one more out here on Tesla. So there it is. I mean, I'm taking $4.50 on the trade. So happy with doing that. Trying to make back some of those hits that we had took early on the name. What up, Adara?
More China tariff-related headlines today. Not super surprising here. I'm not seeing a attribution for this. I'm not seeing the source, but I'm seeing multiple accounts here posting this headline. The White House reportedly looking at lowering tariffs on Chinese imports pending talks with Beijing. It's worth noting a White House official just reportedly told CNBC that even if they did lower or remove these tariffs, it would not be unilateral, so it wouldn't be impacting everything. But regardless, this headline here is showing that the White House would potentially look at lowering these tariffs on Chinese imports pending talks with Beijing. I must add, though, that any move would not be unilateral, as mentioned or reported earlier. Also, keep an eye on oil or UNG, whatever you prefer to look at there. This headline was not super market moving, but worth noting. I'm seeing this breaking headline. Several OPEC members want the group to approve another accelerated oil output increase for June at their May 5th meeting. So keep an eye on oil. Back to you.
I buy 250 right there. Spin it one more time for Tesla, man. The money is coming through right now. 5 and change now on Tesla. Just stopped, though, in there at 250. So let's wait to see what happens. I did take another out right there at 250. So we're just going to wait to see now where Tesla goes. Palantir back up to 101 again.
Yeah, well, the market actually pulling back. We just lost 19,000 overall on the NASDAQ. So
Tesla's
I said if we're
ripping.
underneath... Well, it's been counter trend. It's weird. Like Tesla was going down when the market's going up, and now that the market's pulling back in, Tesla wants to go to the upside. So got to watch out. We've been able to hold on to the volume weighted average price on AMD, and it's right back under. Nvidia is not cooperating at all. It's making lower lows, lower highs the entire way through. So the big chip name certainly leading us to the downside. Going to look for this bounce. We can hold this 92 area, because I like 92 a little bit more than I like the line in the chart that we have sitting here on the volume weighted average price. If we can hold that, we're going dip buy on that bad boy. We'll see what happens here. It is some weakness in the chips. I looked up to see if there had been a short in Intel. I said I should have been only in it if it was getting to 21. Maybe it got close enough. If it does another push higher and fails again up around 21, that is a level that I do like for a trade. Just going back to last week, man. The 14th, 21 was a huge rejection, and it was a rejection on the 10th as well. So a bit of a double top there on Intel. I think we have a chance to get there. When the market's this strong, let it get to your price. But this dip buy on AMD is incoming.
Yeah, that's what we talk about, trying to look for dips, trying to look for rips, trying to just pick your poison in this kind of a market. And I mean, right now we're $7 in the money everywhere. Tesla just continues to climb, as does Palantir. I think that the two that we've chosen here today to trade, again, have been really kind so far. But I mean, Tesla could be better. We've sort of beat that dead horse a couple times here as well about not being super impressed with the movements there in Tesla. But we're still trying to go higher right now. We do have the favorite segment coming in about 30 minutes or so, where we'll talk about what's for lunch. So get ready for that one coming out as, we'll just sit here. I'm going to go grab a water, and we're going to throw it over to Adara, and I'll just let these winners continue to ride. We'll watch. The only short position on so far today is going to be my man over here with GDX. So watch out if you're looking short. Watch out for that GDX play, and we're going to throw it over to the desk with Adara.
You know, it's quite a day when the IWM is actually up about 3.2%. We are on our third straight red candle in the 15-minute chart. So lots of early strength that is just holding really strong here for the Russell 2000. But what about some of these individual small cap runners? Shreve's going to have his hands full today because we have a lot of them on watch. Pony AI, PONY, not as small. Some of the other names on this list, it's about a $1.3 billion market cap. But trading higher here after announcing and showcasing its 7th generation autonomous system and robotaxi fleet. So PONY to the upside. Then we have American Rebel, AREB. I'll move this story. Yesterday afternoon, they announced they're doing a strategic expansion into North Carolina. American Rebel does have about an 800,000 share float, 13% short float. And it's one that has gotten a lot of retail attention, especially as of late. Then we have SLX, and I mentioned this one earlier, Selection. Great little double top move here with a higher low, announcing a collaboration with Catalent for their advanced siRNA formulation. SLXN is about a 7.5 million share float. So tons of small caps on watch today. That is for sure. Back to you.
I saw, that American Rebel, a lot of people in the chat interested in that one, and it's absolutely flying. Some of the other... I'm just gonna caution. Some of the other names that have been in that gap space, like Webull, is taking it on the chin today, down around those lows. Like I looked up just a group of gappers that I was watching and having a bit of a watch list, and it's like, no, they're not contributing at all to this move. So I like Hood. I don't like these guys. We'll talk SMCI maybe a little bit later on today when things calm down. But Hood, strong name, through the volume weighted average price as well. That's starting to come back in. The NASDAQ just wicked. We've wicked the top. We're barely holding on to 19,000. So we've got to hold this bid. I think it's an important one. I'm invested in the long at this particular point, obviously with AMD and the short in GDX, but we're only now tagging VWAP. When we had it before, it was wicking down in, and this one here was, like, it was 10 o'clock. We had an announcement at that time, and we just spiked up like $1.50 in 1 second. It's a little different now that it's 10:20, where we don't have anything, no big headlines coming through, so we can look for more orderly bounce play. A lot to watch here, everybody, and unbelievable that Tesla's going to do this. I'm going to be bottom wick on Tesla today. That's just how I roll. And at the end of the day, if I'm waiting for this, well, it's actually 43. If I'm waiting for this, I don't want to be dug in here. So we never actually got that 43, but it is now back above the 250 level. So it was either looking for the bid here or looking for the bid above 250, which it is now above that 250 level. But I got to go over to AM Advanced Micro Devices because I think that's the one that we're going to get next time. Marjour. Hertz is the easiest short in the market. Usually that's reserved for Mullen. I haven't looked at Hertz today. Webull is getting smoked just as much as Hertz is. It's these squeeze plays from earlier in the week. They're not participating. When the money goes into the good stuff, it comes out of the trash. And so obviously, squeeze names don't have the same kind of buyers when money tries to go back into tech and that kind of a thing. It's that little inverse relationship. So yeah, Hertz not doing very well at all.
I don't know, Joe. I don't know either. All right. Well, we'll figure out what's for lunch, Joe. You don't worry about that for right now. Fruit salad today, sponsored by Melon. So far, so good on that. Palantir 102. We'll grab some fruit salad, man. A very tasty treat. All right. Let me put some offers out here. Another one here, Hydration Nation.
Shout out to S Trader.
Yeah, give some shout outs, man.
S Trader is a good one here. I was going to respond to you as I was just eating there. It sucks, man, but you stick to your rules. Been a profitable trader for 20 years. And I'll tell you right now, one of the things that burns a lot of people, I've seen a lot of traders come through the doors, and they'll have a plan of action, they'll have an edge, they'll have ideas, they'll make money, they can find winning trades, but their worst days are when they do something that breaks their rules and it makes them money a few times, and then that thing that it breaks the rules, if you continue to do it, then it's just going to eventually burn you. So ultimately, you do have to stick to whatever your edge might be or your pattern of executions as long as that's what works for you. Because if you break your rules and the market rewards you, you're just going to do it over and over again, and eventually it's going to bite you in the butt. And I've seen that happen to a bunch of traders in there. So shout out to you, S plus trader. Shout out to you. It's important. It's always important to make sure you stick to your rules, plan of action. You got to stop, adhere to your stop. You're waiting for an entry, wait for your entry. And that's always going to be important, regardless of what kind of market you're in. Let's go to, oh, never mind.
This part of the show is brought to you by Trade the Pool. With Trade the Pool, you can trade real stocks with massive capital and only put down $47 to get started. Trade the Pool offers 2 ways to get funded, and both give you access to up to $200,000 in company capital. It all depends on your trading style. The Max plan is built to reward consistency with a smooth path to payouts. The Flex plan is designed to fit you when you need more time and flexibility. But whichever path you take, your risk is capped and your opportunity is unlimited. So join tradethepool.com, scan the QR code, and get 10% off. Also, just want to let you guys know, Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, he finished his prepared remarks at this event. Now it's a little bit of a Q&A here. I'll let you guys know if anything consequential comes out of this, but I'm still listening to Scott Bessent. Q&A time. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. $10 on Tesla right now, I mean, you know, stick to what you do best, right? And I mean, Neil just nailed that exactly. Like, what we all do best is not necessarily, you do hear that sometimes, you know, Neil will talk about doing other things on the side and blah, blah, blah. Like, right now, I'm making a lot of money, you know, doing this kind of stuff. There's other stuff too, like I'll trade the pink sheets, I'll do different things as well, right? But at the end of the day, what you can see, what we're trading here is, you know, the decisions that we make live in front of you guys. And I mean, you know, I feel like exactly what you guys are saying in the chat. Sometimes you got to believe in the trades, and if you don't, then you get out, right? And if your rules get broken, they get broken. All you can really do is fix those rules and look at them. In some markets, they'll work great. Some markets, they won't. And you know, I've gotten, like I said, when I had that best day a couple weeks ago, I had followed, you know, we had bad days before then, you know, like record-setting bad days, record-setting good days. And I mean, right now, it is upside, you know, and that's why we say it at the end of it all. Obviously, as you guys were mentioning there, you know, not both of us will be green both days. Both of us will be red both days. The trades that we have on board are the trades that we have on board, and that's part of being honest. And we talk about that all the time. I hear Sharif say that too. If they're red, he'll tell you he's red. If he's green, he'll tell you he's green. And these are the opportunities that are in front of us. We can't lie. These are the trades that we have on board. And I mean, you know, I'll get stopped out all the time, and we'll all make these plays. But at the end of the day, you know, this is going to be another green month, and we've put a couple of them, stacked them up now. So it's been really good. Like all the stuff that we're showing you here, I'm green on this month. And I mean, that's, to me, like I'm working on getting better at doing these things. I'm using more shares. I told you guys that before, like trying to use more shares now because the confidence is higher. Right? When you go through a drawdown, we hear that from what Neil was just mentioning and what Obi was mentioning as well. Sometimes, you know, Obi was on the show saying that he's on a drawdown, and that is what it is. You know, some months go like that, and it's just like we can get it back in a flash. Like right now, did I think, Sharif, that we'd have an $11 winner on right now? No, you know, but we believed in it, and we talked about it, and we have it. So this is what we do, you know? It's like, you got to base it. If the stove is hot and you keep touching it, you should, you know, lower your shares or figure it all out. But at the end of the day, it's only 10:30. You know, like that GDX could tank. That AMD is a great trade. Look at these trades that we have on. The long today has been right in some names and not right in others. And if you pick and choose the wrong kind of stock, then that's what's going to happen. And we all have our rules, right? So it's been a great day. It's been a great experience for Neil, myself, Joe, everybody here to be able to trade live with you.
Joe just sent me something I want to see if I can show here.
Sure.
Because look, IBIT's been bad, but I want to show, if they can, sorry, hopefully this is good. Joe just showed me the open interest. Can we get that? Thank you very much. The open interest on the 53 and the 53 half here on IBIT is pretty huge. And so Joe was just pointing that out to me because I was looking at IBIT as like pretty baffling. Look, I got a really bad trigger entry on that. I just put a stop order in to go long when we're at the lows. I'm like, yeah, if we get down there, I'm trying to buy it, but I'm going to take a breakout. And the second that Besant, I think it was Besant, came out and it broke out higher. Now, ideally, I would have scalped out of the trade, but by the time I was getting hidden offer enter, it was already back down. But you looked at that 53 to 53 half, especially big wall on the options, and that's exactly where it failed, at that 53.50. So I think that's something I want to look a little bit more at. That's exactly the price at which Bitcoin failed today, was at 53.5, where there was a ton of open interest, and you got to watch out for that when you're taking a breakout trade. Would I have still had the breakout? I don't know. I'm going to say I don't think I would. I believe it is 10:30. Let's go to crypto.
Worth noting too, we did get that the EIA oil data coming through at 0.244 for crude oil inventories, lower than the expected 1.55 million. So here is Bitcoin, a little bit of a topping tail candle here. It's worth noting if you go to like a smaller time frame here, for example, in the 3-minute, you can really see how we do have these lower highs, lower lows forming at least shorter term. A lot of these crypto charts, for example, MSGR, emulating that as well. So generally, Slightly lower highs, lower lows, some cracks showing in Bitcoin today. Also worth noting, I do want to talk about comments being made by Scott Bassett really quickly before we finish the segment. He actually is talking about China, not surprisingly, but he said that China will come to the realization that it needs economic change, and sometimes that takes an external push. He also said there's a big opportunity for a deal between the US and China. Now let's take a look at some of these other cryptocurrencies. Ethereum actually stronger than Bitcoin, up a hefty 9%, almost at that $1,800 level. XRP 5.5%, Solana 4.5%, Doge and Cardano up 6 and 7% respectively. So BTC actually relatively mild compared to the performance of some of its peers in that crypto space. And back to you.
Looking at that, I might get a chance to sell the last of my Ether on the next move. My ETH.
Yeah, Ether's been an absolute disaster.
Well, I still have some. I didn't sell it all. I still have a small amount in my Coinbase account, which I haven't checked today. I imagine Coinbase is probably flying in this market. NVIDIA is finally above the volume-weighted average price. So I think we're going on NVIDIA, and I think we're going to be good in the chips, at least for now. Intel's at 21, but we had a topping tail entry on GDX. You can see GDX broke that 48.5. I said if we break that, we get out, so I'm out of it. And then Intel, just because it's at 21 doesn't mean hammer the short. It can't. Not in this market. But this is the price it's at. There is a topping tail. Here is a trend that you've got. So either it's going to hold a topping tail candle or we're going to break the trend. That's the only way we're jumping into it. AMD, what's going on with AMD? So like all of a sudden AMD's stuck in this range where we're not really getting that follow through the high. Be a little bit concerned if the NASDAQ continues through the high and AMD doesn't press the high of the day here. But for now, the long has worked on this. I haven't gotten a reload off VWAP since, but we're just going to hang on till we break through the top in here. Yeah, QQQ's high of the day as well. Oleg saying ETH going to 2,500 as a minimum and fast. Well, I think I'll have sold my ETH by then. I'm a Bitcoin guy anyways.
We just got 256 on Tesla from our 244. So. And then Palantir is doing its own thing as well. So, yes. Now? All right. You let me know. It's all good, my guy. All right. For that one, you don't even need to tell me. Just say now, and we'll do that. All right. So, yeah, what a good game last night between the Senators and the Maple Leafs. Another big dub, man. We cannot be happier, at all than we are right now.
Well, when they finish the job.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, sports is sports, man. I mean, I just, we had a great family night. We were having, obviously, putting on some great trades so far here today. And let's look at Boeing. So here we go. Boeing prepared to remarket China aircraft. All right. I mean, Tesla's just whatever, man. That's $12. Like, all right. Boeing, let's just see right now. 174. Nice movement there up to the upside now for Boeing, bouncing off of the 200 period moving average one more time on that play. So, yeah, I mean, I like Boeing maybe breaking the top now that we've gone another level there. We keep hearing some of this Scott Bassett stuff here and from Adara, Besant. And, Baba's the one that's sort of coming back in a little bit right now trying to break. We are now at intraday highs for Tesla. Look, I never thought, man. I remember when Neil was saying that he was out, and I was like, I think you just sold into me. We almost got stopped out myself, man. We had like 50 cents away from that. So feeling pretty lucky about where this is going right now. So right now we're $15 in the money. I know you're on AMD, and I think GDX went again, but at the end of the day, man, we're doing it. We're doing it live, and there it is. Thank you, Pizza Rat. Thank you, everybody that's been watching some of the trades that we've had on lately. It's been a good one. I'm going to let Tesla go. We had said that there's possibly a 260. I'm waiting at 259.95. See if we could put 15 in our pocket. It's 250 in the money now. I'm going to take another piece out. We still have 20% of Palantir left. So, yeah, built a little different today with some of these trades, but E-Signal is built for the winning, successful trader. If you are backtesting, if you're looking for consistent charting, some of the best technical service around. 50 plus brokers can connect over there. You can trade. Let's go. Tesla's at $258. $14 now in the money and starting to go upside right now. Not only the entertainer, but also the trader right now, and the charting with e-signal. Hit the like on, hit the subscribe, and scan. Is it still up? That QR code right there. Neil uses it, I use it, all the guys use it. We really get it, Neil. We really like this. And we want to thank e-signal. And I know you sort of just started using it in the last couple months, which has been great.
Back to using it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's been a great experience for many of you. And you know, my guy Obi, I think it's appropriate right now to look down at some of these and say, Neil, oh boy.
Oh boy is definitely right. This market does not seem to want to stop. We're only going higher. You just took out, you just got to the high of the day on NVIDIA, so like the weakest chip name of the bunch is got the continuation going. If it pulled back into the volume weighted average price, we're waiting for some strength in NVIDIA. There's your trend break, so it's clearly on the other side of this. Your rounded bottom, some people like to buy those. Well, I think you want to be able to buy those if you can. Oh, goodness. Apple, which we haven't even talked about. Hit enter again. That just tagged high of the day. So a bunch of things with the Qs breaking highs, we just tagged highs on a couple. Tagged the high on Apple, tagged the high on NVIDIA, and it's starting to pull back in there. AMD's not really at the high just yet, so I think it's starting to fall asleep a little bit. And I did mention I was being very cautious with Intel at that 21. Where's my trend line? See, this is one thing that on eSignal, draw that trend line. It's good, baby. You hit save it, Pete.
Look at Palantir.
But you are holding that 21.
Break.
So now we're looking for the fade on Intel at the 21. It's shown me that it's respecting this $21 level, and I can get risk. There's a big buyer at 94 for about 100,000 shares on Intel, so someone's holding it up here, which can be good. Oh, in the time it flipped, they just filled them. So they just filled that guy for 100,000 shares at 94. Trust me, it was there. I tried to flip to it. So you can see, but you're breaking trend. If I short this, it's a trend break, stop at the high, targets at VWAP. On Intel. So wait till it tests 21. Don't try it on the way up. Let it actually test that level. And now that it's made a high, we can jump into it. So stick to the plan. Always, Stan.
Yeah, stick to that plan, Stan, huh? We've stuck to the plan pretty good here one more time today. I mean, I'm surprised that AMD's not moving, which makes you think about
well, it's holding in the
holding, but like not doing what the market's doing. I mean, the market just took off huge, took out day's high right there. And I'm thinking that Tesla may have got a little slower right now. We did take up to 258. So I'm going to put a stop if we break through the 200 period moving average now on Tesla to get out of a third of what we have left. My guy Obi was talking about this before, and we were talking about scraps, and that's kind of what we have left now on Tesla. You know, that's trading for you, man. I mean, we did really good job of holding on to all of this. Like I said, it was looking gloom when we were breaking there, and I had like those thoughts of, oh my God, what am I doing? It's earnings. I've lost a lot of money on Tesla in the past and made a lot, and it just could be one of those days again, and then just one of them days. If you take it personal, it's going to be a problem, but we're still cool. 253.50 right there is going to be a stop for me on Tesla. So, I mean, this trade, and I've always mentioned to you where my stop was. It's in there right now, 243.99. So we were giving this one 60 cents plus slippage. It's in the money 1,200 cents on a 60-cent stop. So it is just scraps, but the math checks. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher on that. I'm going to put that stop in. We just got 103 on Palantir. We're up. We're doing all right right there on Palantir. All right, it'll be a dare time, and then I promise you, we'll tell you what's for lunch right after.
It is a great look here for pretty much all of these sectors. Technology services leading the way. Meta up a whopping 6%. Microsoft and Google up almost 4% each. Electronic technology holding down really nicely as well. Broadcom, Cisco, NVIDIA, Apple, GE, RTX, all nicely to the upside. Finance to the upside. Retail trade strong here as well. Amazon, though, clearly leading the way, up 8% despite a price target decrease this morning from Telsey, whereas the rest of these names are up maybe 1%. So interesting, I guess, diversion there in the retail trade area. Then we've got health technology. We have Eli Lilly to the upside, but some of its other peers, Intuitive Surgical and Day One Earnings, and Boston Scientific, both really strong. Consumer services, producer manufacturing, health services, consumer durables, transportation, commercial, etc., all really strong. The one area where there's some weakness here is energy minerals, both XOM and Chevron to the downside. Communications a little bit more mixed as well. AT&T up marginally in earnings day one, but Verizon to the downside in earnings day two. Scott Bessent just finished his remarks and Q&A at this event, so no more Scott Bessent comments for now that we're expecting. Back to the guys.
For now, but we still got a lot going on today. There's still more Fed speak. There's still a lot that's going to hit the wires. So we're bouncing off VWAP here on NVIDIA. Just tagged it at 103.
Take a piece out here.
I just tagged it at 103.90 was the low. I got 104 evens. We lose VWAP, we're out. Intel, which we did short on that trend break. I mean, you could have shorted anything on that trend break, but Intel was the one that was at $21. VWAP sits at 70. It got some at 80. We're sitting at 70. We get back to the highs. I'm not reloading this. It's that simple. The market's way too strong to just say, hey, if we're bouncing VWAP and going back on trend, let's just reload at the same price. No, it would have to set something up distinctly different. Like, show me a lower high off that level, show me some weakness, show me a complete trend break. So yeah, we're putting that trade on, and then we're just going to get out 2/3 in front of VWAP. If we follow through to the low of the day, that's fantastic. Talked about NVIDIA there. I'm not completely sold on the reload of AMD. It's not behaving like it was this morning when it was the strongest, or one of the strongest chip names out there. Suddenly, it's not holding the same kind of strength. You never broke the high. You never broke the high when the futures were taking out the high, and that's the first time it did it all day. So we'll just sort of sit here. If we lose 92, then we're going to be out. I might even move this stop up to tighter to VWAP, depending on what the futures do. If the futures lose bid, then I probably tighten this stop on advanced micro devices. But we're into NVIDIA now, and we're still short Intel. That's the one that you always have to be concerned with, because it's in a strong market. Buying dips in a strong market, okay. Mean reversion trade short, make sure you take your profit and don't let a winning trade turn into a loser when you are going against that grain. So wild one, obviously. I see a couple names in here that we haven't looked at already. Shook Rune saying XRP. Still unimpressed. Well, it's still, I'm unimpressed with IBIT a little bit there. Because we're at 93,000. If you had told me the market would be up 4%, I was fully expecting that we'd be sitting above 94,000 on Bitcoin. So I'm a little bit surprised there. Maybe that little bit of safe haven that it's been turning into at least a couple of times, you're getting some of that unwind. Like, people have been buying Bitcoin when the market was going down, so maybe they're reversing that a little bit. I suppose that just has to be some of it.
All right, so yeah, shout out to my XRP army there. You guys know what's good. We talked about that at $2. I hope you're still in it. It's $2.25, a lot more to go on that one there. And what's up to Bob Beck? Please, nobody go. You can go over to that other site we have. It's not right. Whatever that More Trader TV shows the trades, it's not right. So no, I did not buy more Palantir at 10.20. We actually just, I wish I did. We just sold some for $3 as it goes up to the upside right now as we wait for a higher bid right there. And I did not wait for Tesla to break that. I actually got out right there on a 256 break of that third that I had. So that was as we were with Adara. So I just want to let you guys know that if you are in this trade, it's just $11, but you could, you know, maybe think, you could maybe get some out. Joe, we've got $3 on Palantir here. I mean, you know, it is, but that doesn't matter because all that matters to me, I mean, we sit here and do this, you know, every single day. You saw the highlight reel there yesterday, Joe? So here we go, man. Super happy and super proud of this girl. There's not anybody that works harder, period, at anything they do than she does on the rink. So, you know, to have the discipline and everything that this girl has is unmatched, period, as a 9 and 10-year-old. It's ridiculous. So I just want to say, like, I'll obviously get choked up, but she is something else. And, you know, the way my son's at basketball and doing all of his thing right now, and the way Alex Karp just keeps on, you know, helping me pay for all of these fees. It's been absolutely a fantastic run for the Katina household, family-wise, trading-wise, and we're just going to continue to feel those good vibes. But before we go, it's going to Adara? How breaking news is this? Very breaking?
It's dropping. The stock is dropping, so I would say so. Boeing here dropping to the downside. CFO and CEO commenting right now here during their earnings call. They did report earnings this morning. Call started, I believe, about 10, 15 minutes ago. Basically, we do have the CFO of the company saying, CEO, that would be our friend Kelly Ortberg, saying that many customers in China have indicated they're not taking delivery of jets. Kelly Ortberg further said that Boeing is prepared to resell its China-bound jets to other customers. We had previously heard reports that India is actually interested in buying some of these jets, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But Kelly Ortberg basically said they're not going to continue building aircrafts for customers who will not be taking them. So Boeing said, if you do not want this, we're not going to be building it for you. Kelly Ortberg said China is not interested, or some of these airlines have indicated they're not interested in taking delivery. But again, they might be trying to resell. So comments from Kelly Ortberg sending BA a little bit to the downside here, slightly lower high for this one this morning. Back to you.
Thanks, Adara, but we got to cover what's for lunch right now. This is Joe's favorite segment, and we're going to go over it right now immediately. What we had for breakfast, actually, today were plain omelets, fruit salad.
It wasn't even, it was just...
It says plain omelets. I'm just reading what it says.
To me,
plain
you can't
omelets.
have it. If it's just egg, it's just, you can't call it an omelet. There's nothing in it.
What's for lunch today, though?
I got beef.
You got beef? Well, then you're in luck, Neil, because it is not a chicken dinner winner. It is a beef stroganoff kind of a day. So there you go. Neil's got beef with the market with, not with the market, with plain eggs. We got beef stroganoff for lunch with buttered egg noodles, steamed vegetables, and chef's choice salad. Yesterday, I was more than pleased. I wish they had the protein on top of the salad on here, because yesterday it was tuna. I should send them a note and say, thank you very much for the tuna yesterday, because
I'll take that again.
I don't know, man. I hope we can get that again. Get a little egg salad action. I love to have a chicken breast. So what's generally on our lunch is a protein, and we've showed it. Maybe I'll show it on the show, on the midday show. Protein on top of a chef's salad, which is always just like an iceberg lettuce type of thing with various mixed veg, I guess, or whatever's in a salad there: peppers, onions, tomato. And then we get like another kind of salad. So it's a couscous sometimes. I don't know what it is today, Sharif. I might tell her to put it on here.
Sometimes it's been like noodles or rice, which I find a little bit strange.
Sometimes it's noodles or rice.
Because you get the salad because you don't want the heavy carbs. But that's just me. Beef would be really, really weird if we're going to get that. I see in the chat here, Trish saying silver is flying. Really? That's a little bit surprising to me. I don't know why SLV. When I type SLV, it's not the first thing that comes up, but it is absolutely squeezing to the upside on SLV. Whoops, that's my. Let's got breaking news on Palantir.
It's not moving, no.
Keep an eye on PLTR, but it actually looks like on eSing we'll get a bit of a pop here, now kind of dropping a little bit more here, giving up some of that move. Google, public sector, so the public sector side of GOGL and Palantir are reportedly collaborating here to bring Google Cloud to FedStart and U.S. government agencies. We know Palantir has a bounty of government-related contracts, and I guess now collaborating with Google, according to Google Public Sector, which is again is a branch of Google, according to that branch's blog, for lack of a better term. Let's take a look here at the DXY, though, for Money Talks May as well while we're here. Downtrend here for the DXY, lower highs and lower lows, though yesterday actually could have been a little bit of a start of a base. We have, I guess, a nice strong foundation here with that 97, just below 98,000 level, 98, not 1,000. Holding as support. We get a bit of a bullish engulfing candle yesterday. Let's see what happens today. Pretty stagnant right now for the DXY, but again, the longer trend very much is to the downside for that US dollar, and back to the guys.
Because we were able to get some out at 103 right there on Palantir. So thanks to Dara for that one. Great call, as it's just, went back 40 cents. The whole market is falling, but thank you, Adara, for that one, because we're able to save ourselves a little bit of money. Look, we talked about where our stop was on Tesla, 60 cents worth of a stop to make 1,300 pennies, right? So 60 to 1,300. Palantir, I just canceled my stop, was 9, and again, I told you when we got in where the stop was. It was 99.89. So this is even a better trade. This is 26 cents to make $3 at the top. So it's similar right there. Again, can never predict how far these names go, but that's what gives me confidence. And again, we talk about the trades that we've been making today and the sizes and all of that. And it's just accumulation of trying to trade a little bit bigger, trying to be patient, just on these two names, helping you guys out, looking for different trades, because obviously we can see what's going on here. And it's been a really good run. And, again, liking this stock market, liking what we've been doing lately, and just trying to figure out what the right plays are. And we talked about Palantir dipping off the open, right? We talked about Tesla dipping off the open. Tesla was a tough one today because it did fall in quite fast. And we had to wait to get those bottoms. Took too many hits right there. Not too many, but it took two of them. And then eventually buy, boom, buy, boom, buy, boom. So first mistake there, but made 3 winners after that. And now my next offer is at 260 on Tesla. And we'll just keep on doing what we're doing right now. I'm pretty sure that this trading and you guys watching and everything like that, hopefully this creates action for you guys to keep coming back. Regardless of if we have winners or losers or anything like that. We've had some good talk here today. We've covered a lot of different names. I want to thank Adara for all the news breaks and all of that kind of stuff. So as we get going, we're ready to rock and roll. It's going to be a great midday with Sharif and Joe coming through again. Great recap show here tonight with Neil. I don't know if Sharif's, are you joining the recap as well? Are you all recaps now going forward? Or?
It's the big one.
Oh, is there not a big one today? I think no.
Well, today it's like it's pretty small today. Tomorrow you get Alphabet. Tomorrow you get.
So I get Sharif tomorrow again? Oh boy,
no, it's a bigger earnings. There's somebody else. It's like maybe like is it IBM?
I thought when was Alphabet? Oh, it's IBM.
No,
I think
IBM tonight.
Alphabet is tomorrow.
And at Chipotle, it's not like there's not massive earnings today. There's big names that are reporting tonight. Yeah. It's just not the same as like Tesla last night or Google tomorrow. I don't know why we put Intel into that category with Google, but I guess that is what it is. IBM's been a much better company than Intel for a very long time. Let's be real. It's actually one of my picks for the year. I just want to be able to, and we got a super chat I want to get to, but I wanted to finish the thought on silver there because there is something to be said. Oh, by the way, first things first, VWAP gone on AMD. So AMD, I didn't reload the third time at VWAP. I think it was the right call. It couldn't break the high when the market's breaking the high. I'm not going short, although we're still in some of the Intel. I just got to finish this thought on silver. GLD, this is gold, pulling back into that 300 level. I don't know, 290 I guess looks bigger than 300. 280 is 50-period moving average. So there's some skepticism. I don't know, what are people rotating into silver from gold? It's a bit weird to me, but that seems to be what could happen, or just a little bit of a squeeze. So breaking that 30, there's big overhead resistance at 31.5 on silver. So just be careful. It's absolutely squeezing, and it's a squeeze type commodity where you do get these types of pressure valves, I guess, going to the upside. It's not the same fundamental play as gold. That's the other thing you got to consider. But good luck on silver. And thank you, Nicole Harris, for the super chat. I'm just trying to unpack it. Hamburger for Neil. We don't eat what you said. So I don't know if you meant, did I say something and you're like, you don't eat that, or we don't eat the lunch? I thought the lunch sounded pretty good, but I'm always down for a good burger.
Yeah.
Although we already did burgers once this week. That was going to be my go-to. I found out my wife had a thing last night. And I was like, oh, shoot, I have nothing prepared for dinner. And I wanted to go out and play catch with my daughter. And thankfully, I was reminded that we had leftovers from my buddy's 50th birthday party. Barbecue chicken, jerk chicken, rice and peas, all that good stuff. So I'm like, sweetheart, do you mind eating some barbecue chicken and rice and peas? And then we have time to go outside and play. She's like, yep.
I thought you just said burgers.
No, we had burgers earlier.
Right. So you ran out of ideas.
So I'm not, I don't know. If we eat burgers on a Monday, I'm not eating burgers on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. Mm-hmm. And we'll do that a little bit later. But barbecue weather is here. It's here.
Yeah, I'm with my guy.
I'm not like you. I don't barbecue when it's like cold outside and raining. I've never been that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, all good. All right, I'm going to we're getting ready to get out of here. So I've already put some stops in right now. I actually canceled my Tesla at 260 because why not? There's scraps left. And we actually, someone in the chat said it's hard to average down into Tesla. We didn't really average down. We punched out when it was wrong. So we didn't, these are, we got in, we got out. We're holding small pieces, and then it came back into that low again, and we bought there. We only really just bought twice. And if this is not averaging in on Tesla, that was 245.60, and that's 244.60. If you don't give Tesla $1 and change, then you're not trading it properly. So for me, that's not averaging in. Averaging in is there'll be some days, I used to do that. I don't do that anymore, average it into the depths of hell or anything like that. So we just make the trades, and we make them with supreme confidence, and we just go. So that's what we've been doing. We had Palantir yesterday, guys, at 91.50. It's at 103 right now. So that's what I want to talk about. So I'm going to put this Palantir stop in. We already did that. If it breaks through 102, then I'm putting a stop in right now at 101.99 to get out of 70% of what we have left right there, because I still want to hold out hope that we can get an upside move. I only have 10% left on this trade. So it's why we're not in panic mode by any stretch of the imagination right now at all. So there it goes, man. The short Intel. I thought you were long. No, you were always short Intel, right? So good.
I haven't longed Intel, but look, Intel's beast. It's 7% up. It's an absolute rocket ship to the upside. But it put everything in relative terms. It's right back to this 21 where we're failing. It bounced off an all-time, well, not an all-time low, a 20-year low to get to 21.50, and then put a lower high at 21. So we let it get to that 21 level before putting on the short. For now, it's holding above VWAP. I've gotten a couple of legs out in front of the volume-weighted average price. I now have the stop instead of at the high. The stop is now at this bar, which is the break-even. I have 93. My stop's just above that 93. So it's not like it usually is. I see Ozan saying it's not a normal short on Intel where it's just trending down. It's a mean revert.
No. He's saying every day you're shorting it is what he's saying.
Well, that's not.
I'm saying what he's saying. He doesn't mean that it's not normal.
We're long it on. What was the day we were long? It was this day in the afternoon. We went long on Intel above VWAP because in the afternoon it broke VWAP and then dipped and held VWAP. So you just play the trend however it happens to be. But we've seen this story before in Intel where it trends up all day and then turns into a short. It literally did the same thing yesterday. So we'll see if it's a repeat today. But this market seems to want to be on one. If 19,000 holds, there's no chance Intel's going to be good. If 19,000 is gone, Intel's going back to its low of the session. But I'll tell you what has been a bamboozler is still this IBIT or Bitcoin in general. No matter what we do, no matter what the market does, I should say, because I stopped trading it at 951, and it's still trending down. What's crazy is it hasn't attempted to fill in the gap yet. So it has yet to get to this middle gap fill at any point. So there's still the level we liked at 52.65, which would be holding on to 92,000. So we get a test of 92,000. There's still one level left for a dip buy for me on IBIT. It's got to get there because we're not going up on Bitcoin. It's a weird one, but Bitcoin not showing that relative strength today, not at all.
All right, thanks Adara, thanks Ramin, thanks Fabian, thank you to everybody. Bears versus Bulls, man, you are the man. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us here today. Yeah. Love the stock blitz, man. That's something that when I was doing the recap show by myself, we have 7 or 8 different things over there. And that was one of them. I really like that stock blitz one. So, yeah, that's a good one, right? So, all right, man. Thank you so much for everything. The proof is in the pudding. I hope you guys had a great show as well. All right, good job there today. Well, hopefully we'll get some of this market settling down, but I hope for the midday guys it doesn't.
Well,
it's going to be a wild one for sure. I've only traded 2 symbols. I think you're a little higher than that, obviously. And we've better get ready for a couple of different names because the midday madness is starting right now.
Let's go. Or we're going to Adara first.
Go to Adara.
More commentary coming from Boeing during its earnings report. We previously had Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg making some comments here about their China deliveries. Now their CFO, Brian West, is chiming in. He said that if the company needs to redirect its China supply to more stable demand, a strong market backdrop still supports its planned production rate increases. So Boeing thinks regardless, they're going to be able to produce or increase their production rate. Brian West, CFO, also said that apparently Chinese customers represent about 10% of the company's commercial backing, and roughly 80% of its supply spend goes to U.S.-based companies. So Boeing looks like trying